Okay. There we go. Now you can hear me. Okay, let me ring back in Mr. Midnight Movie. I don't know, I just must have had a glitch or something like that. Let me ring him back in. Okay. I didn't play the intro. Down here, down. Gee, I hope he's home. I hope he answers. There you are.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable.
He must have walked away. He'll call me back in a minute. For those of you who have been listening to my show for quite some time, you'll remember that I had a person that was a part of my show for a long time named Mr. Solution. Mr. Solution was... Hey, would you flip that off right there on the wall? Do you mind? Mr. Solution was known by everybody to be one of the most intelligent people that they'd ever come in contact with. He was a major part of my show. He ended up doing all kinds of different shows with me. He did an entire Bible study with me. He was always calling in, blah, 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 blah. Well, there was rumor at one time that he... Are those all no cheese? There was rumor one time that he was somebody else, that he had another persona somewhere. And I never bought into the theory. I never thought it was true because I was always like, what? I didn't think that Mr. Solution would do something like that. I never bought into it. But then again, I was up for anything, I guess you could say. So what happened is one night on Mr. Midnight Movie's show, he had a guy call in, and a guy had some evidence that Mr. Solution was not quite who he said he was. Let me first walk you down memory lane just a wee bit to get you familiarized with who Mr. Solution was. Mr. Solution, like I said, was a major part of my show. Was very intelligent, and he was very picky about who he hung out with and who his friends were. He never really cared for Mr. Midnight Movie. And that was the downfall. That was our breakup, was I didn't like the way he treated Mr. Midnight Movie. I told him, if you're going to treat Mr. Midnight Movie like that, then you're not going to be my friend. This, that, and the other went on and on and on, and kind of went back and forth with it. But you know how drama is on the internet, especially in podcasting. Podcasting is a sinkhole for drama. It's a honeypot for drama. And I'll see if I can show you. Let me find you a little bit of an example here. Okay. Here's some that say Bible study with Mr. Solution. Oh, there's thousands of them. Okay. Wow, there's a bunch of them. It says Debi goes head to head. When he first called in to my show, this happened.
A lot of rabbit go down years, and I elected to end the relationship with him. It was just a friendship relationship. Yeah, I don't know why I get that strong feeling. Maybe he just burnt my damn finger. Bill, go away. You can verify that through the enrollment office over there. I don't know. It says making a parallel here.
Hold on. This is from Blog Talk Radio. It says Debi goes head to head with Mr. Solution, but I tried to call you and you didn't answer, Brian. Why come you didn't answer? Yes, Kurt, I'm doing a show tonight. This is really big, guys. This is big. I want y'all to listen to what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go back to playing this. So Mr. Solution was, as I said, a major part of my show. Let me click on Daily House. Let's see. Debi and Mr. Solution. I'll just click another one.
Respect to
there he is.
Our presentation of evidence, the New Testament documents really present the case accurately for Jesus. They could be accepted in a court of law, in other words. And so Jesus was the one, being that conquered death. I believe there's excellent historical evidence for the resurrection. And I think this is something that we all are confronted with, the fact of our demise, our ultimate demise. I don't think any of us want to die. I think we want to live because life is better. And but we understand we have...
Okay, so he came across as an amazingly intelligent man. Would you agree, Mr. Midnight Movie?
Yes, I would. Now, when I first heard him, by the way, and I heard him, the first time I heard him, he had Henry's bitch on. It was the first time that I remember that he came onto your show. Mm-hmm. And I thought, and if you ever can find this guy's voice, I thought he sounded a lot like Emmanuel, a gentleman by the name of Emmanuel McLittle, one of Roy Masters' flunkies, or one of Roy Masters' teachers or on-radio hosts that he had for FHU, the Foundation for Human Understanding. He sounded a lot like Emmanuel McLittle.
He came onto Blog Talk Radio and took an enormous interest in me for some reason.
That is correct.
That's correct. He called in and he said, "I've been listening to you for a long time. I think that you're brilliant." And I do have the one with Henry's bitch. It was this one.
Women have a huge libido.
It was, in my opinion.
Okay.
In my opinion.
So I'm rocking along, having a show, talking about something when this call comes
jealousy?
in. Okay.
Okay. What about what I said? What about the fact that I think that men...
Hold on, we'll see if this is it. This might be the call.
Or the men that I have encountered on the internet as friends, close friends, they are all up into looks of the...
Let's see if this is him.
They don't show what they look like. It's like the old adage of tits or get the fuck out. Okay, well, what about dick or get the fuck out? I mean...
Well, I'll tell you something. If women wanted to see that, men would...
That's you, Mr. Midnight Movie. Okay. Let's go forward.
Yes.
So he's fixing a call. Let's get the call so y'all can hear what happens when we first encountered this guy.
A lot of men would have to go when they were like, because
Texas at Austin. Number 2, male.
And we make babies because men want to have sex.
To
callers, okay? Watch and learn.
Here we go.
Area code 111111 or Skype caller. You're with Debbie. Hello? You're on the air. 111111 or Skype caller. You're on the air. Your hand is up. All right. Put you back on hold. Johnny, the tub guy, number 2. You're on the air with Debbie.
I got balls the size of grapefruits.
That's a troll. Skype caller. You're on the air with Debbie.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Hello?
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold just for a second. Now listen to this, Mr. Midnight Movie Man. Usually the first clue that it's a troll is when they say, "Can you hear me?" But I'm going to take this call and play it out as a real call. Now watch. You're back with me, Skype caller. I'm sorry.
Yeah, hi, Debbie. Are you speaking to me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. Good evening. Yeah, no, I'm not a troll caller for sure. Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the discussion about the internet call, internet dating, rather. And also, the gentleman said that women's libido, as it were, is less than men. That's not true. That's false. And I think that definitely creates a communication breakdown between men and women, because it appears that men want sex more than women do, and that's not true. The University of Texas at Austin did a study in human sexuality, and of the 50 reasons that humans have sex, the first 5 are the same for men and women. So we need to understand that, and so that we communicate correctly with each other. Also, with respect to the internet dating, I think that that's sort of been called dysfunction junction. Men and women should be able to meet.
Now, he was quite the bloviator. He could go on and on and on. Yes.
And I want to say that study in Austin, when he said men and women have the same reasons, I mean, you and me have the same reasons to eat, but I know that and I could be wrong, but I have a bigger appetite than you do.
In your tummy or sexual?
No, in my tummy, but I know that but sexually too, I have a bigger appetite.
I don't know if that's true, because I have a big appetite for sex, but I control mine better than men do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to argue. We've had this argument 1,000 times.
men break the law. More men break the law and go see prostitutes. Why aren't even half the women in America are even one half of the amount of women who? Why isn't not even comparable of women who see prostitutes as men who see prostitutes?
There's no male prostitutes. I'd probably call one right now. I mean, think about it. You know?
It's dude, all you got to do is go to a singles bar, Debbie. Come on.
No, I'm talking about ring, ring, ring. Hello, come over. Thank you. Goodbye. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, Debbie.
What?
It's a lot easier for women to get dick than men to get snatch.
Well, there's no doubt about that because men just need a place, but women, good women, need a reason. You know what I mean? That's what the oldest saying I've heard was men just need. But
men's drive is far higher.
I cannot agree with that, Mr. Midnight Movie, because I don't know any scientific statistics on that where you've actually had the brain or the sexual part of the brain looked at
on just about every marriage. When there's a sexual problem of one wanting it more, on average, it's the man the man wanting it more than the woman.
I can't attest to that either, but I can say...
I said on average. I'm not saying that there are exceptions to rules, but what did Mr. Solution say?
The exception proves the rule.
That's right.
All right, let's go a little bit further. Watch how he treats a friend of mine that calls in that goes by the name of Karen.
Just in their normal course.
Let's go forward. He bloviates forever.
So use that, like that I think it...
To make them, whoa, she's laughing. And that's all I meant by that. I didn't mean that is a prerequisite of mine or an order of mine. Then you said, I don't know, you said so many things that I wanted to respond to, but I couldn't. And I agree with almost everything you're saying.
No, proceed. I just said thank you.
Oh, I thought you said, but hold on, I'm taking my thyroid pill. Shut up. I think somebody wants to talk. Did you want to say something to this gentleman, Mr. Midnight Movie Man?
You speak. There's a little bit of a delay here. I think we're going to have to work with that. I'm Mr. Solution. Sure, I'll entertain a question. Of course.
I've always been curious, and my friends and I have debated who has a higher sex drive, male or female, or are they equal? You know what? From my own personal experience, and I haven't done any extensive study on it, but even sometimes extensive studies can be wrong. I mean, but it's been my personal experience, and many of the men that I've talked to, that
you have gotten so much better over the years. Oh my God!
Oh, by the way, Debbie,
what?
There's someone in the chat room who you might want to address.
In what chat room? Spreaker?
Yes, take a look, Deb. I don't know if you want to take a look.
Let me see. Hold on. Who is it?
Well,
That's not Mr. Solution. That's not Mr. Solution. But let's keep going.
Did you read what he wrote?
It's good stuff. Okay, let's keep going here for a minute.
I'll bloviate all up in you.
We're going to take this a piece at a time because I want to paint the perfect picture for you guys. Okay, so here we are. The first interaction that I or Mr. Midnight Movie had with Mr. Solution. Here we go. Back to this. Take a listen. Now, there's a reason I'm doing this. Stay with me because I'm going to lay this out for you guys.
Is stronger. I know there are a lot of women who do buy vibrators, but the pornography industry, the fact that most prostitutes, 90% of them are bought by men. So it just says to me
Hang on just 1 second. What about titty bars? Okay, don't anybody move. There's a caller on the board that doesn't call them enough. Hendry's bitch. You're on the air with Debbie.
Hi there, Debbie. Thank you for letting me speak. I wanted to speak with your relationship counselor.
One of my favorite fucking callers in the damn world is Hendry's bitch. I mean, if I could pay to have this woman with me every night, I would pay out of my pocket. She's absolutely fucking brilliant. Do you agree, Mr. Midnight Movie?
Now, she's in England, isn't she?
I don't know where the fuck she is. I don't even know who the fuck she is. All I know is she is one of the most genius people I've ever dealt with. Here we go.
When's she coming back?
I don't know. Where are you, Henry's bitch? Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Counselor, please.
Wonderful. Yay. This is, here he is, relationship counselor. Hello? Caller?
Are you speaking to me?
Yes, I am.
Oh, yes. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much for your time. First,
Sure.
I'd like to ask, I have just general questions about your statements. Regarding testosterone in females, you do know that fluctuates, correct?
Well, sure.
Just as it does in males, correct?
Proceed.
She's going to eat his fucking lunch. You can tell she's starting out real correct. And I mean, that means she's like a viper. She will boom and get you.
Okay. You also understand the act of progesterone in the physiological changes.
I understand it to a degree, but what point are you getting at, if you don't
My
mind?
point is, I believe that you're dealing in generalities and not specifics. And the specifics is this. You came on to the air, and at first you seemed really legit. Then you went on down the road of most insecure men and said, well, you know, it's the women's movement, and the women's movement did this, and the women's movement did that. You know what? Really, what the women's movement did was teach women that our society is not built on the hierarchy of testosterone. We have the right to meet men the way that we want to and not capitulate to the 1950s mentality of I'll slap her on the hiney and she'll go, he likes me. The truth is, we actually make very good money. We care for ourselves, and especially in the black community, women have really had to become men because so many men are not responsible enough to take care of the children that they procreate.
All right, let me address some of the things that you're saying, okay?
Please do.
She goes, please do. She's fixing to eat his freaking lunch because she can go from very, very prim and proper to tearing you apart in 5 minutes. And I believe, am I wrong? Doesn't that happen on this episode? Doesn't she end up eating his lunch, Brian?
Yes.
All right, hold on, let's go. The original air date of this, by the way, was May 4th of 2012. May 4th of 2012.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, look, women are not gates that just swing open on the hinges. They make a decision. A lot of women are puella aeternuses with respect to the choices that they make. They look for other people to look out for them in the most important areas of their lives. There are plenty of good guys out there. Women tend not to choose them. They use superficial and artificial constructs such as height, age, is the guy cute, entitlement, that is wanting the guy's money before they even get to know him. And there are a plethora of women rejecting guys for being too nice. What happens is we have been lulled into a sheepalism, and we don't talk to women according to reality, okay? The vast majority of problems that confront women are created by women. And what women need to do, instead of being extremely narcissistic, is to woman up and make better choices. Because if you read Roe versus Wade, that gave women all the power vis-a-vis reproduction. Women tend to take, most women, not all women, but most women tend to take no responsibility toward their reproduction. And so, these are some things we need to visit and visit often. Women have about 12 to 15 forms of effective birth control. Yet, when I have conversations with women, women tend not to be responsible in terms of taking birth control. I advise women to get, in fact, if you understand, you and I are in agreement based on what you just said. I encourage women to talk to men, not just go by their libido, because women have a huge libido. They tend to lie about it, and most of us cannot really accept female sexuality. That's the problem with us. But at any rate, I encourage women to talk to men.
You know, it's almost like he's just feeding her ammunition. Like, you know how they used to feed those bullets into those, you know, he's just feeding it to her, and she's just going, nom, 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 nom. She's fixing it.
You know, it's good listen, because, you know what, I was really nervous, so I'm listening to this with new ears almost.
Yes, you were a different person back then. And when you and I had just really started our relationship in this area, because I said to you one time, Mr. Midnight Movie Man, and that's what I called you. And this is crazy. Here we go.
Mr. Midnight Movie Man.
Mr. Midnight Movie Man. I didn't talk like that, you idiot. Here we go.
Have open and honest conversation. Don't have a relationship with a man, and certainly don't have a bastard or illegitimate child with a man that you're not committed to. Now, there are other forces that encourage women to do that.
You want me to go forward on his bloviation or let him bloviate? Because he'll go on for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, go a little bit forward.
All right, I'll go forward.
Of their personal lives. So those are just a few of the said.
Interesting conjecture. However, what...
Wait. Now, what I'm saying is conjecture. What is what you're saying?
Well, no, I appreciate you interrupting my answer as well. That's very gentlemanly. My point is quite frank. Those who can do and those who can't teach. The fact is this: smart, strong, able women get smart, strong, able men. The rest sit around and tell people what they think they want to hear. So, my point would be, sir, are you married? Are you married long term? Have you had a successful relationship from a very early age? Or are you cycling through, now middle age, feeling disillusioned and perhaps a bit miseducated and uninformed and slightly bitter as you sound?
We're quite negative here. Look here, this is what I would say to you directly. First of all, as an equal woman, you're not required to register for the Selective Service. That's a problem. You should be pushing for that. If you really believe that you are a merit-based person, all right, you would be pushing...
Go down a sideways. Just
wait a minute. You would be pushing to do your duty as a citizen to register for the Selective Service, because all males have to register for the Selective Service, even if mentally or physically disabled. The other thing is you have all the rights for...
Now, I know me well enough to know that this being on my podcast, I'm going to put up with this probably another 1 minute, and then I'm going to bash in. And I'm going to say, all right, and I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to regulate the situation, because that was where I got my what is it called when you're known for something? That's where I got my whatever for being in podcasting. Is I would put the damn Skype assholes on hold. I didn't give a crap who you were. If it was President Obama on the line, I didn't give a crap who you were. If I thought that you were being stupid, wrong, over bloviation or whatever, I would stop it in a New York minute. And I think I'm fixing to do that, because I'm feeling right now that I should be doing that. So here we go.
To reproduction, and you shouldn't. Just as you can say, I don't want to be a mother, under any circumstances, a man should have that right too. So those are two major areas that the law has given you superior, unwarranted power.
Great. Now answer my questions.
Well, what is your question? I don't think you have a merit-based question.
My questions are actually very clear, and everyone in the chat room understood my questions very clearly, and I delivered them dumbed down and with much clarity.
What I'm asking you is, what about your registering for the military, Miss Lady? What about your registering for the Selective Service? Don't you think as an
qualifies you to tell anyone any kind of information and advice about relationships?
Hey, Debbie, let me ask you this, Debbie. This lady is the classic avoider. You are standing on the power of men, not on your own power. You're resting on the power of men, and yet you have the audacity. And yet you have the audacity to try and criticize.
Uninformed.
You have no place to criticize men.
Hold on.
Done. You're a nobody. Bye-bye. Good luck with your bitterness.
You're an idiot.
No. That's not Debbie. That's another person called Henry's bitch that called in. But listen to me.
I understand. I could tell what she was from the very outset. She's a slick mouth.
Or else he would be able to answer simple questions. He just doesn't have the capability to back up what he wants you to believe based on pretense. He just doesn't have it. He's got a lot of words with absolutely.
Lady, you're one of these slick mouth feminist morons.
And you're a bitter, dumped man who we laugh at, step on, and walk over.
You're a bitch.
Ouch.
Awesome.
Probably a rotund bitch.
Okay. He just got put on hold.
There you go, Debbie. Speak right up, Debbie. Let's do this shit.
Oh, he's just angry, Debbie.
Now, the switchboard's lit up like a freaking Christmas tree. Let's go down to Atlas 911. Who is this? Atlas 911.
Debbie put a hit out on Moxie. Lol. Debbie.
Shut up, troll. What about you, 936? What's up? All right. 3 seconds, 2 and 1. All right. What about Johnny Tub Guy? I forgot. Was this the troll, Johnny?
Oh, it's pretty funny. All butthurt and such.
What about 111-11111? You're there? Hello? And you're back on hold. What about 310? Do you have something to add into this?
I thought that was one of the better debates that I've heard on anything on Blog Talk.
Okay, now let's stop right there. I want to make a separate point that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Now do you see where the envy and the jealousy came of my show on Blog Talk Radio? I had, again, one of the most popular shows on Blog Talk Radio. Everybody called into my switchboard. Everybody did. Because that's what we did. We had fun, didn't we, Mr. Midnight Movie? We talked to people. We had panel shows going. And there are idiots that came over and said, all she ever does is talk about drama. No, we don't. We talk about issues and we have a good time. People would say, ignore the trolls. Am I not ignoring the trolls, Brian? I'm not even returning. I'm just hanging up on them, right?
Yeah. And here, you know what?
What?
I remember that, you had so many interesting guests. And almost, to a degree, is there ever, I guess there's not an urge because the sound is so shitty.
I know.
But Blog Talk, that switchboard. And people being able to call in and having callers, that was something that I still miss.
Yeah, because I had 50 trunks, which means I could hit channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, all the way up to 50, and that they were all in on a different line, and I would just be going down the board, boom, 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 answering them, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Now does Alan Levy? Does he? Because getting at Skype. Does Alan Levy, does he own that kind of format where it's a switchboard kind of thing?
Yes, he does. He has the copyright on it. He has the patent, the patent on it.
To me, that's a monopoly.
Well,
and he should not be able to, that kind of patent should run out because other formats should be able to use that. Because
TalkShoe does, sort of.
Yeah.
I would go to TalkShoe, but I cannot stand when that thing goes, TalkShoe, recorded live. If it didn't frickin' have that stupid thing. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's go.
It was quite amazing.
Is it still going on? They're still both taking, I just put them in the corner. Ding, 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 ding. They're over there with their cornermen. But how many of you think that this gentleman is a racist? A sexist? 310.
I would actually, everything that he said, I don't know if I agreed with, because with everything that he said, but I think I agreed with quite a bit of it. I mean,
live on the air with me. I think he started out.
Or have or haven't, you've experienced what you've experienced. So, if you can't handle the simplest answers,
he seemed to. Phil Henry's bitch seemed to be trying to get his goat and trying to antagonize him, and it was.
I disagree. I think that Phil Henry's bitch was being completely honest and calling him out for exactly what he was. I think she nailed him. Do you now think that, Brian, Mr. Midnight Movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Midnight Movie, do you think that he is somewhat of a sexist?
Not to my knowledge. Do you think he was?
I'll tell you why. He talked about, now Henry's bitch, you are live on the air with me. I think he started out with the study from the University of Texas, blah, 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 and that's fine. But he moved off into how he did seem to get kind of bitter real quick, and he started to blame a lot of things on women. He talked about birth control. Then he went into
Debbie, he is absolutely the typical guy who has been run over by a woman he was enamored with, and now he's angry at all women. So he thinks that if he counsels on relationships, he can capitulate women who are insecure and not able to see through the bull. Just like with Mr. Midnight Movie. The truth is, Mr. Midnight Movie, there is someone for everyone, and you're going to meet the right woman because she is out there dying to meet you. Now, if you suffer from a little bit of social shyness, the same woman who's looking for you suffers from the same thing. But you will meet. You'll get together. I guarantee you there's someone out there. Internet dating is not a losing proposition. It's actually very fruitful. But you have to understand going in, you have to eliminate the naivety that goes along with it. The relationship guy was not all wrong. My point in talking to him was to get underneath to his core. And his core is, at least what he seems to be projecting to the rest of us, he won't answer questions. How long have you been married? Have you been in a long-term relationship? How young were you when that got on? And it kind of tells you at least where he's coming from. Instead, he avoids answering the most simple of answers. He wants to verbally make things seem complex.
Welcome, Miss
They're
Hex.
not complex
We
at
have a
all.
special
It's very
person.
black and white,
Shut up,
cut
Debbie.
and
Hold on.
dry.
Hold on.
You either have or haven't.
Stop. We have Miss Hex in the room, a very special guest, a friend of mine that I met at the Anon UK radio show, which is the best show on Spreaker. And welcome to the chat room, Mrs. Hex. Along with, I want to say a special welcome to Eric and to Mr. Solution, whoever you are, Mobster Boss Radio, and the Bloviator, and Grandpa Cruz, I guess. And again, Ronald. Hi, Ronald. How are you doing? And Mobster Boss Radio again. But I did see down here the Nutty Professor is in the room, whoever you are. And I also saw Mrs. Hex down here a little bit. Where did she go? She doesn't chat much, but she does. She is. She's a force to be reckoned with. Put it that way. She was in there. Did I miss her? Did she leave? Did I imagine something? I saw her in there earlier. I know I did. Maybe she deleted her comment. Well, anyway, there she is. Grandpa Krutz, do you avoid sodium? Little Miss Hex. There she is. Yeah, cool girl. Very nice girl. Okay, here we go with back to what happens with... hi, Mr. White. There's Senor Blanco. I love that picture of that cat. Now, you don't know that yet, Mr. Solution. You don't know that yet. Just give it time to grow on you here. And this is going to take a complete turn in just a minute. All right? Just stay with it. Are you still with me, Mr. Midnight Movie? I know you are. All right, here we go.
Yes, I am.
I know you are, Angel.
You've experienced what you've experienced. So, if he can't handle the simplest answers, how in the heck can we count on him for the complicated ones? Debbie?
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Every single thing you said was perfect. But now let's go to round 2, and here we go, everybody.
Millions watching on RTL. Let's get ready to rumble!
I'm joking, of course. No, they're enjoying the argument in the chat room. Let's pull him back on. No, I agree with you completely. Absolutely. Everything you said, I say too. And let's bring him back on. I do, however, because I stand by what I said, I think he's somewhat of a sexist. You're back with us, relationship man. I don't know your name. I'm sorry.
Well, I missed the solution. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, Debbie, how am I a sexist? I'm an original feminist. I really promote equality. And all I'm saying with respect to, communication is vital. Communication is necessary from start to finish. Virtually every relationship therapist, counselor, and
now he does tend to drone on and on and on, so I'm going to bump him forward so we can get to something else. Let's go ahead.
And what have you, psychologists will...
Hold on.
Example, let's deal with that. Well, what did I say that came off as sexist?
Okay, I do agree with Henry's bitch that you won't answer questions. I do agree you sound like you're kind of a little bit butthurt about something in the past. You sound like you basically kind of don't like women. I'm just telling you what I see, what I hear.
I'm quite happy. Okay, I can answer first of all, that lady is not legitimate, okay? She is looking in a mirror. That's her. She's projecting. All right? This is the way I roll. This is the way I speak. I'm not bitter. I'm angry somewhat at the situation that we have allowed to arise, but I have developed solutions to it. What's wrong with women, with all their power? Women are judges. You know the score. Women are sheriffs. Women are legislators. Women are Supreme Court judges.
Sir, I had to put him on hold because he won't stop so that we can interject into the conversation, because if I let him go on for another 2 minutes, then I don't remember what I wanted to interject with at the first of the conversation. Does that make sense, Henry Fitch? It's like I can't conversate. It's like more like he's giving us a lecture. And are you there, Henry Fitch? Your mic is hot. But anyway, that's all I'm trying to say. I need to reset my board. Hang on, everybody. Hold on. Locked. Hey,
I'm sorry. I had to step away for a moment.
Oh, he missed it. He said you were the most horrible. No, I'm joking.
No, he didn't. I had him on external speaker, and what he says is about 3% of truth wrapped in 97% of book. Basically, here's the bottom line. Those who can will, and those who can't struggle to figure out the answers. That's the hard world we live in. He doesn't like me because he doesn't like the straightforward way that I speak, and that's okay. Some people just don't like it. He can say that, hey, she must be overweight. Well, that's a cheap shot of something you have absolutely no way of knowing, and you're absolutely wrong. But I understand the weakness that stems from. I understand the amount of yellow that runs up the back of your spine that takes all the way to your cerebellum, where that's the best thought you can come up with. The truth is this. I asked you 3 simple questions. You've still, 20 minutes later, been unable to answer those questions. So answer the questions. If you have nothing to hide, you'll answer the questions. We can draw a general consensus from there. That's all.
He's back on. You're back live with this relationship man. I hate that name. Do you have can we call you Jim?
Yeah, Mr. Solution. Henry's bitch just went on for 3 minutes. I just timed her.
Right, so answer the questions. There's 10 seconds. Answer the questions.
I don't even recall what your questions are. They sound illegitimate anyway.
Don't want to answer them.
I don't see that your questions are relevant to anything.
Very,
but anyway, Debbie, I was speaking to you, and you were about to
relationship,
what the
married, children, and absolutely understand what
she's cutting me off. Can you ask her to mute herself? Debbie, I'm speaking to you. I'm not. This lady is ridiculous. Okay, this lady is her voice. Her very voice is wearisome. But Debbie, I'm communicating with you because I do like
the question.
Like some of the points that you made. Is that her still interrupting?
Let me ask you a question, relationship man. If somebody were to call you and say, "Hi, I've got a boyfriend, and I've actually told him I've only talked with him online, and I have misinformed him on who I am. I've showed him pictures that aren't me, and now he wants to meet in person." I had a call like that earlier this evening. A question, like that earlier this evening. How would you answer? What advice would you give that girl?
Well, it would depend on how serious, how long they had spoken. And, obviously, if they just spoke online, maybe she should go ahead and...
I know what I would say. You're a psycho bitch, and you deserve every bit of the crap you get from lying to somebody about who you are. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mince words. You know what I'm saying? Should I go forward, or should I go to our point?
Go to your point, because, the guy basically was,
Don't tell him. Okay. No. All I'm saying is don't tell him what we think we found out. Let's just keep painting the picture of what he became. So he did become a major player on my show and on Mr. Midnight Movies. Mr. Midnight Movies more in a negative manner, and on mine more of a positive manner. Would you agree to that?
Yes, he had it out for me. He believed that I was a white racist, and he had done this, and basically he knew how to shut. Conservatives down.
And he thought I walked on water. Okay, seriously, would you agree to that? I mean, he would go around other shows and say, "You should, instead of bashing Debbie Daly, you should take lessons from Debbie Daly," and all that kind of stuff. He made a lot of people...
basically talk to her. But he did not like me because he did not like the perspective that I was coming from. And he found it offensive. And his main goal was to shut me up and shut me down.
He thought you were the biggest racist he'd ever encountered in his life. He did. And even one time on Spreaker, this is on Spreaker, when I left PTR, I came to Spreaker and we had reconnected, Mr. Solution and I, and one time he said to me on the air, he said, "Debbie, I refuse to be a part of your life until you get rid of Mr. Midnight Movie." He said, "I do not understand why you hang around with him. He is far beneath you intellectually. He is nothing but this, that, and the other. And I mean, just put it out like boom." And I said, "You can take your friendship and stick it straight up your ass for saying that about my..." Remember, I told him that. I said, "Fuck you."
Yeah, because he said you're an atheist and you're a theist and he's an atheist. By the way, my favorite theist and atheist were on YouTube, and it was like me and you. I mean,
right?
It was good.
It was good. It was good. Let's stay on topic, and then we'll go to that. Hang on, I really want to make this because I've been waiting all my life to make this point. Okay, now, because we've got a lot of people that have never heard of this person before that are listening. So this person goes on, as I said, to become a huge part of my show, and on Mr. Midnight Movie Show, a big thorn in his ass. Okay. Even when Mr. Midnight Movie was on my show, he would call in and get into a major war with Mr. Midnight Movie on my show. Okay? Now, when Mr. Midnight Movie had a show one time that aired 30 days later, no, it was June 21st. This was May the 4th, so you're thinking it's almost 2 months later. So we're going to say it was about 6 weeks later. Mr. Midnight Movie is rocking along, and he gets a call from somebody named, what was his name?
Rick from Newcastle.
Rick from Newcastle, okay? Rick from Newcastle listened to my show and to Mr. Midnight Movies and got the nerve to call into Mr. Midnight Movies show and out who he believed Mr. Solution was. Now, here's where you guys get to chime in here. I want to get your opinion. Do you think what I'm fixing to play for you is real? Okay, take a listen to the call that happened on Mr. Midnight Movies' No White Guilt show on June 22nd of 2012. Here we go. This is where it gets good.
They took the boy out of the
in a rage, but since it's just happening to random white folks by blacks,
Juneteenth. It was about a week ago or so, I believe. Around Father's Day or something like that.
Does he admit to being part of the Nation of Islam?
Yeah. Well, that's the second clip I'm going to show. But just so we can get maybe hear this person's style a little more, maybe we can
Wait, I should back up a little bit because he calls in and he says, "Hey, Mr. Midnight Movie, I've been listening to this person that's calling himself Mr. Solution, and I believe I have some information that you need to hear." Should I do that?
No. Let's also preface that these two, Mr. Solution and Rick from Newcastle, had gotten into a knockdown, drag-out verbal altercation just a week before. And Rick from Newcastle, for whatever reason, and I think, the thing about black separatists and black nationalists is they have trolls are like, people like Anonymous and stuff in their ranks.
Oh yeah.
Where
they
look up shit about other people.
Rick from Newcastle. Rick from Newcastle. He was a white separatist.
Yes.
Okay, and I asked him many times, define white separatist. He says, I'm not against blacks or Mexicans or the Chinese or anything like that. I just do not believe that we should live together and work together and go to school together. I just don't believe it. That was his claim to fame, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to see if I get, when you first take the call, to see what he's calling about and what he says. Let's try right here. Hold on.
Remind it. Yeah. Like it's not that big of a deal.
You're right. Yeah, like I said, it's if it were the other way around, like you said, it would be completely different. You don't hear about these things. But if it's okay with you, I have a couple audio clips here from.
Oh, go for it.
I just want you to listen to it, and I won't say anything. Just I'll let you know if you think this individual sounds like somebody who comes on your show. If it's okay by you.
Go for it, man. Go for
it. Like I said, I have. The only way I could figure out how to do this is, being I can't really. I don't know if I could upload it to your show somehow or not, but I'm going to have to try to play it through my computer, over the phone. So if it's not coming through well, type something in the chat room and let me know. Would that be okay?
Will do.
Okay, yes. I'm going to put the phone up to my computer and see if you can make this out, okay?
Very well.
Now, this first clip, it's somebody talking about, this is on a show, let me see what the name of it is. It's, the ladies, it's called Say Your Piece, I believe is what it is. And this is
was it in your neck of the woods? What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Well,
Mr. Midnight Movie, now that I think back on it, there is no way that Rick could have just randomly gone out and found. There were so many shows on Blog Talk Radio that time. There was upwards to 200,000 listeners in prime time, which is what we were on prime time, right? He had to have been tipped off about this from somebody. He had to have been, because there's no way he could have done this. If you think about it, are you there?
Yeah. I'm listening.
There's no way he could have just, because there was nothing saying Mr. Solution on the show that he found. There was nothing saying nothing. And I know that he just didn't go randomly listen to some show that wasn't even popular. So here we go.
But I'll tell you something.
What?
One of the things I believe about black separatists, I belong to a conservative organization, and one of the things that they would do would be they would troll like black organizations and black things just to see what they were up to. And a lot of these white separatists and white nationalists, they, just as black nationalists, they troll. They try to troll Klan sites and white supremacist sites. So do white nationalists. They look for black organizations and they try to get dirt on them. All right,
here we go. He calls in, he's talking to Mr. Midnight Movie again, and he tells him...
It's the same woman she hosted the show called What's Going On in Your Neck of the Woods, and also there was just, I think it was like about a week, when was this past Juneteenth? It was about a week ago or so, I believe. around Father's Day or something like that.
Does he admit to being part of the Nation of Islam?
Yeah. Well, that's the second clip I'm going to show. But just so we can get maybe hear this person's style a little more, maybe we can just maybe if we could both agree if this is unmistakably Mr. Solution. Let me play that first clip for us. It's a couple minutes long, and it's he is explaining how black people can't be racist. So, like I said, if you'd be okay, if you don't mind me playing the first clip.
Go for it.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, let me find it. Like I said, this is I could post a link, to the show. That way it makes it look like
Just play it, Rick.
I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. I'll show you exactly where I got it from.
I just want to say that Debbie Daly has also listened to that, and she's offered to have him on her show, and I would certainly have him want him to go, on the show and just explain himself and explain these clips, because they do sound quite a bit like his voice.
Exactly, yeah. But you know what? I mean, he claims that, like he's not going to address this because it is just so ridiculous. I mean, he puts, like whenever I first said that he is a member of the Nation of Islam, he kind of put that in the same category as him being from Mars. I mean, come on. Now, like I said, here's a little bit of evidence, and this is just part of it. And I'd like to, and if anybody else is listening, on top of yourself, I'd like to hear a little bit of input and tell me what you think about this, okay?
All right.
So, without further ado, here goes the first audio clip.
That syrup, is nasty, and it's going to help you, but you really don't want to take it because it tastes so bad. See, one thing about a lot of people is that they don't want to take the truth that you're going to give them because truth hurts. You see, when you call them out for the truth, they don't like it because it hurts so bad. I know it's right, but you're a racist. Oh, you're this bad. Who racist? Let's not talk about who the racist is. A racist is somebody that's oppressing my people. Somebody that's holding my people back. Somebody that's using my people for self-gain and using them as a stepping stone to move forward. That's a racist. Somebody that's not willing to share, if they help them build their business, not willing to at least share some of the wealth, not all of their wealth, but a livable wage of a wealth so that they could have a halfway decent life. That's a racist. Somebody prevents them from making a living because they just do it because of the color of their skin, and so they deny them the right, or they jail them wrongfully, or they prosecute them wrongfully. That's a racist because they have power over those who don't have power.
Okay, now, if you listen to what's called the inflection of that voice, the way he says power, and he puts that word out there, that's the way Mr. Solution spoke. So you don't really want to judge it by does it sound like him, but listen to the inflection, because you can mimic voices, but you cannot. I mean, you can hide a voice, but you cannot hide your inflection unless you're real good.
Let's get into what a racist is. Now, you can't call me a lover.
And he always says, now.
I am a lover. I'm a good lover of black people. I don't, because I'm a lover of black people does not mean that I hate white people. Mm-hmm. A lover of a race, I love my family. Because I do for my family in my house first before I do for anybody outside. Does that make me a hater of everybody else outside? No. It means I'm going to take care of home first.
Not right.
Right. And my extended family are those who look like me outside of my home. After my home, those are my next people. And those are the ones that I yearn for. Those are the ones I hurt for. Those are the ones I can't stand to see hurt. Does that mean I want bad brought upon other people? No. I don't want bad brought upon them unless they want shaping up. Then I don't give a hoot what comes on them. If they intentionally try to bring harm to me or any of my people, I don't care what's unleashed on them. Now, if they don't want to bring harm, they want to do right and harmony, guess what? I'm right there with them. I have no problem. So, I would love that.
And listen to how long he bloviates Mr. Midnight Movie. He won't shut up. They're trying to shut him up.
And he certainly changed his tune. He wasn't like he was. So he changed his whole persona because he wouldn't even acknowledge him being black at the time.
And I'd also like to add that this show, when we did this another time, the next day you were 404'd.
Yes.
Mysteriously 404'd. I was on the show with Mr. Midnight Movie, and the next day he calls me, he says, my show got 404'd, and I went, what? I was already on Spreaker, and he was still on Blog Talk Radio. He lost all of his archives and everything. It was horrible. And I thought, interesting. Okay, let's keep going.
You know, they have a state. I know, you know, it's their right whether they want to call in or not. I mean, that person that I wish they would come on in. Give us a call. 347-677-1749. I'm pretty sure that people out there would love for you to call. They'd love to see if I can stand the test of time. I'd love to hear you. You know, but a lot of people don't.
Go ahead, can you hear me? He's getting ready to tell me what racist is. Hold up. He said, he said, go to dictionaryreference.com.
Dictionary.com. There's the keyword that Mr. Midnight Movie said. Mr. Solution said on my show and on Brian's show. Go to dictionary.com, he said. Remember? Mm-hmm. Are you okay?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Oh, no, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Okay.
And browse what racist is, which I'm getting ready to do right now. I'm going to dictionary.com. Give me 1 second here.
Going to be a new day racist. Racist from 1970 is going to change from. You see, when you speak from words, you can
party over other abusive or aggressive.
Talking the way that he would naturally speak. But when he calls your show, he kind of changed a little bit. And here is just, like I said, this was just, let me see. Like I said, I'll post a link just so you guys know I'm not pulling this shit out of my ass. And here is another one, this second clip. And this was the one, I believe, that you were talking about, where he actually mentions the Nation of Islam by name. 1 second here. I'm a little...
Now, the reason this is paramount at this point is if we are dealing with Nation of Islam, we've got a problem. Would you agree, Mr. Midnight Movie?
Yes, and
why?
I'm wondering what percent. You know, like I said, because you always thought that John Wiley Price is probably, if not he's probably maybe a covert member of the Nation.
Well, he's never seen without a bow tie on, and apparently, from what I understand, they speak to each other with the bow tie. If you wear a bow tie and you're a black man and you're somewhat sophisticated, you're a lawyer or whatever, you're Nation of Islam if you have the bow tie on.
The reason of the bow tie is it's considered, like when a butterfly comes out of a cocoon, they're awakening, and they wear and a lot of blacks who are Christian, like who practice, they'll copy the bow tie too. Is someone who has been awakened.
Why do the Nation of Islams wear bow ties? The bow tie has always been associated with fine clothing. When one's attire is immaculate, he puts a bow tie on in contrast to a regular tie. That being said, the Nation of Islam has always expressed that same decorum. And the bow tie to the members takes on a symbolic nature. The bow tie represents a transformation being because of its resemblance to the butterfly. You're right, okay? I defy anybody to find a picture of John Wiley Price, the man that took down my business, without a bow tie on. And I will bend over and kiss your you-know-what. You cannot find one. He doesn't have a bow tie. Unless he has on a T-shirt and jeans. If he's got on a jacket, he's got on a bow tie. Now,
do you think John Wiley Price hates America?
Yes. I think he hates whites, and I think he hates America. I do believe he's Nation of Islam. And he is in too much power to be. And he took down Victor because Victor was married to what? A blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. I think
Did you ever do a show called John Wiley Price Hates America?
I've never thought about it specifically, but I've done some shows about him, how rotten to the core he is.
And like I said, he blames everything on racism. And if someone asked,
he wanted to know why the black hole in space had to be referred to as a black hole in a negative connotation. He wanted to know why Black Friday was Black Friday. Why is that a negative connotation? He was insane. He was mad with racism, with counter racism. He was the most racist. Horrible.
If someone asked John Wiley Price if he loved America, what would he say?
Of course I love America. Boy, get out of my way, you white devil.
Would he not answer to that?
No, he would probably say he's very mouthy. He's very mean. And he doesn't hold much back. So he would probably tell you this, especially since he beat a 67-page indictment where it was the frickin' prosecutors fucked up. And, of course, I knew they would. And he walked on a 67-page federal indictment on corruption. He walked.
Was it a jury trial?
Yeah, it was a jury trial. So,
well, who's on the jury?
I wonder who. Yeah. So, if in fact we're dealing with Nation of Islam, Mr. Solution, there is much, there's a lot of problems with that. So let's keep going. He's fixing to play the second audio and final audio, and I'm going to see what you guys think that are listening to this for the first time.
Scattered here, so I apologize for holding us up, but let me see what we got here. Where the hell did I put it at? But yeah, like to me, there is really no doubt whatsoever that is first of this year. This is what's the date today?
Maybe play the clip where he admits to being part of the Nation of Islam.
Okay, yeah. Now, is it coming through pretty clear? Like I said, whenever this
I call into the show, and Rick from Newcastle claiming draw.
Since this brother from the Nation of Islam, maybe he's not aware that the head of the Nation of Islam in Mississippi back in the 90s had a son named Andre who was in high school, and the police stopped the head of the Nation of Islam for Mississippi, and his wife was presently in the ACP. They took the boy out of the car, and then they found a way to hang him in prison. They said it was a suicide. Claimed that the boy had a can of beer in his car. And these cases are all over. So they kill folks in the Nation of Islam that are just as pure as the driven snow, just as fast as it will be someone that is guilty. And by the way, there was nothing that was ever done for that family to do or make right what happened to Andre, their only boy.
And Mr. Brother Short, let me say, I am also a member of the Nation of Islam, and they will pull you over. They don't discriminate. They don't care who you are or what you. To them, you're just another nigger, and I will say it. That's what they think.
Yes, sir.
That's just a short clip there, but yeah, to me, that's him spot on.
Yeah. Now, what made you? How did you? I mean, and you don't have to. If it's confidential, how you got that information? I'm just curious to how you got the information on this gentleman.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can say that. Yeah, it's. I'd rather protect the innocent. Put it that way. You know, it wasn't really me. I mean, it's kind of, but not really. But it wasn't solely me. I can say that. But this is. I was pointed in this direction. Telling me that keep an eye on this guy because he's not what he seems.
Okay, because I've noticed that, like I said, I mean, and I've heard it before. I remember, and the guy might have been bullshitting, but he was at my college, and he called himself a conservative agitator, and he said many of these militant groups, and he said both black and he was in the military, and he said both black and white militant groups.
You know something, Mr. Midnight Movie? I remember when we were doing our Bible study series together, Solution and I were, he would never speak about the New Testament in Jesus Christ. He would only speak about the Old Testament. Do you remember that? Maybe you don't, but I remember.
I remember you started on the Old Testament. I mean, that was the first thing that you started on. I mean, he was well versed in many things, but he was a chameleon and he was an actor.
And it makes me wonder if he wasn't directed to my show. You know what I'm saying? Because the answer that Rick from Newcastle just gave gives me the impression that Rick was a part of something bigger than what we knew. You know what I'm saying? Are you with me?
I believe that Rick hung around a lot of white separatist groups, and a lot of those white separatist groups, they basically troll black national. I mean, particularly they dislike black nationalist groups because they find them to be violent, and they basically believe that which is kind of true. They want to siphon benefits from whites to blacks.
Right, but that's not my question. My question is, do you not believe, looking back on it, with hindsight being 2020, that Rick from Newcastle was more than likely, because of the answer he just gave, a part of something bigger than we knew? A group, an organization.
Well, my answer to that was he was probably part of quite maybe even more than one. Why? I mean, because there are many different white separatist groups. Right now, the alt-right what the hell's his name? God, I can't even remember his name now. But I mean,
stay with me. Don't be watching the chat room, okay? Because you'll get.
No.
Okay.
I'm not watching the chat room. I'm just trying to remember Nathan Domingo.
I guess the point I'm trying to make, though, sweetie, right now is that the answer he just gave, he stuttered on it and he said, "Yes, it wasn't me, but I was directed to keep an eye on this person." Now that sounds like something a little bit more clandestine than what we're talking about here, that he was actually a member of something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, he wanted to call him out on his bullshit.
He had him in his crosshairs. Yeah. And I believe he had, Mr. Solution, for some reason, had me in his crosshairs and wined and dined me for quite a long time. Remember? But isn't it true that Nation of Islam hate women with blonde hair and blue eyes? They only like black women. Is that right? I don't know.
I think they hate white men more than they hate white women, and they hate white people in general, and but they do infiltrate. They infiltrate a lot of our groups because whites are a lot more. Whites in general are a lot more open, so. They're gonna, they'll talk to white people and stuff, and they'll hide who they really are. I think they use, I forget what it's called, tequila.
Okay.
But I mean, they use forms of deception.
Well, the Nation of Islam. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Islam has, I think it's called tequila, where they use, it's a form of Islamic deception, and I think they do a lot of. I think they do a lot of deception. They can't hide their anger, but there are times when they try to hide it for their real intentions, because, they have intentions of dominating the United States and even Europe.
All Islam teaches the Prophet Muhammad was the last of the messengers that Allah had sent. Overall, there's only one God. His name is Allah. They believe in Allah's prophets. They follow the Holy Quran and believe in the scriptures of all of the prophets. They also believe in the truth of the Bible, but see that the truth has been skewed. They believe in the judgment, but that the first judgment will take place in the United States. And in addition, Nation of Islam people see themselves as God's chosen people who can mentally be resurrected. That's interesting. I don't know. That's just what I just saw, Angel.
Now, the Nation of Islam, many believe, Farad Muhammad is a very white-looking man, by the way. And some people thought that he was he set up the organization so the FBI could look at militant groups. There was a Noble Drew Ali started it, and he was murdered by Chicago police. And then later on, there was with the whole start of the Nation of Islam, because when you start the government sometimes would start an organization just so they can have people's information so they know what they're doing. A lot of, a lot of white nationalist groups are also, a lot of people say CIA or FBI set up organizations so they can have names and numbers of citizens who may get violent and overthrow the government.
Louis Farrakhan and Malcolm X were huge in the Nation of Islam. Is that right?
That is correct. Malcolm X came before Louis Farrakhan. Actually, Malcolm X,
right.
I believe, was the reason why Louis Farrakhan became.
Okay. Take a listen to this. Take a listen to this. Hang on with me. Please play. You piece of shit.
What practices do NOI members follow? In the movement's early decades, NOI members had to follow strict rules regarding eating. Various foods, such as pork, were forbidden, smoking and drinking, both banned, dress and appearance conservative, neat clothing and good grooming were required, and all kinds of personal behavior, drugs, the use of profanity, gambling, listening to music, and dancing were all outlawed. They were forbidden to intermarry with non-blacks and were encouraged to resist the U.S. draft because the American military was seen as a tool of white oppression. Recently, the movement has adopted more conventionally Islamic traditions, such as fasting for Ramadan concurrently with other Muslims.
I just wanted to throw that in there. That was read.
Now, and I also want to say that a lot of Muslim groups do support the Nation of Islam, not because their form of Islam is a bastardization of Islam, but they support them just due to the fact that that Islam hates the West so much that anything that will bring it down, they will support. And the Nation of Islam basically hates America, and a lot of these Islamic nations also hate America. So they give money to the Nation of Islam. A lot of these Arab countries and some of these Arab sheiks give money to the Nation of Islam because they're anti-West. They hate the West, and particularly they hate America. And anything that supports that, they support.
You know what? I've just been informed by the engineer that John Wiley Price did something pretty goddamn sneaky. Dallas County's population is 2.5 million. Officially stands for monetary and substantial for Black Americans suffering, blah, blah, blah. What happened is there was a referendum in the commissioner's court to be voted on, and John Wiley Price introduced a referendum on Juneteenth. He introduced a Juneteenth resolution celebrating the end of slavery. The resolution passed unanimously. Now, here's what it said. It said, the Juneteenth resolution commemorating the day that slaves in Texas learned of their freedoms. I'm reading off of Victor's tiny little iPhone. From its description, blah, 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 blah. But Price's resolution went beyond taking note of Juneteenth. It included a long list of injustices endured by blacks from slavery to Jim Crow to predatory lending practices. Then, in a final paragraph, without anybody knowing it, he snuck in declaring that the suffering of African Americans should be satisfied with monetary and substantial reparations. Now, he snuck that in on the last page. I mean, nobody saw it, and they all passed it with a unanimous vote. The commissioners are not necessarily used to reading through and trying to figure out all this bullshit, and I think that's pretty shitty that he did that. He stuck in at the end of the thing, just like what they did to me when Heather's first broke up with Jet's baby daddy, and they went and they put on the internet, she's not allowed to be with the baby and all this kind of weird shit about me. He stuck something in on the last page that said, and I'm going to repeat that. He put in there, African Americans should be satisfied with monetary and substantial reparations.
You know what, Debbie?
What?
This gentleman, every dollar that he steals or he takes, he feels is rightly earned as a form of reparations. So if he stole $40 million, he'd still think he's owed $100 million more.
You better believe it.
Yeah. He thinks everything he takes from the government, he is rightfully owed. And he is a person with malignant self-love, and he's very totalitarian. If you ever go up against him, he will seek to destroy you. And he's being helped by white apathy. Because blacks, a lot of them hate us and will try to destroy us. A lot of them don't care about America, and they feel in many ways, maybe not as strongly, but like Wiley Price. I am owed something from this nation. This nation enslaved me. It committed unique Jim Crow against me, and I am rightfully owed compensation for the suffering that I endured from this country. Now, you can say, well, compared to what? What other countries can you compare to? What other countries give compensation? Because I wonder if Brazil is giving compensation to their blacks that they enslaved. I'd always ask that. But again, and if this kind of thing, and this is the Democratic Party, by the way, they are going to, sooner or later, the Democratic Party, as they start to get stronger and minorities start to become larger, blacks are going to start asking for reparations, and we're probably going to give it to them as this country becomes more minority. It's going to be a big push.
Well, it goes on to say how Dallas County accidentally backed reparations. Commissioners unanimously backed a resolution inspired by Ta-Nehisi Coates' Atlantic cover story that they failed to listen to its contents. And it says that John Wiley Price, since the Dallas County Commissioners Court was voting on an item labeled in their agenda as the Juneteenth resolution, referring to the annual commemoration of June 19, 1865, arrival of United States troops in Texas to free slaves after the Civil War. John Wiley Price, the only black member of the commission, and evidently something of a character, submitted the resolution, which for some reason wasn't sent around to commissioners ahead of time, nor was it posted on the commissioned website. Instead, Price read it aloud as his colleagues ignored him, perhaps playing tic-tac-toe or whatever, or checking their Twitter. And then when the resolution came up for a voice vote, they all voted whatever, let's approve it. It isn't if Price didn't loudly declaim the resolution, and here's how it closed. Therefore, be it resolved in the Dallas County Commissioners Court that Juneteenth and its historical mimicking of freedom is just that, and that the United States of America is derelict in its promise of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to the African American people. Be it further resolved that the dereliction that has caused 400 years of significant, whatever, it says inaudible, to millions and significant suffering to the descendants of those who have been enslaved Africans who built this country should be satisfied with monetary and substantial reparations to same. And yet it was only referred to as an oops. Price told the Dallas Morning News that he'd been inspired by Coates' article to sponsor the resolution, and he didn't know why it hadn't been available ahead of time. You know, it's really funny that he just kind of slipped that in there. You know what I mean?
You know what they should do. They should have one remembering South Africa and the day that everybody got the vote, and then also condemning the murder of white South African farmers. I wonder how John Wiley Price would feel about that.
I don't know. I hope he gets ran over by a car, but that's just me. It says right here, this was nationwide. This went worldwide. It happened in June of 2014. It went worldwide. It made worldwide news. They printed it everywhere, and after the vote, a word circulated about what they'd approved, and the commissioners quickly regretted it. Commissioner Mike Cantrell told Unfair Park this morning Cantrell promptly changed his vote to abstain. The others kept their votes since the proclamation is purely ceremonial. Calls to John Wiley Price were not returned. He's a snake. Don't believe me. Don't believe me.
You know what, Debbie? Whites and other people of goodwill should start confronting black people's racism. And we should have a debate about reparations. And we should say, compared to what? What other nations have minority groups that weren't treated well? And what have we done, and what have we not done to rectify the situation? What did we do, and what have we done? And I think, the more I look at it, there are plenty of programs that are out there that are specific for blacks. And like I said, he's a typical person who likes to guilt the majority population to siphon benefits for himself. And he feels he hasn't siphoned enough. And anyone who crosses him or tries to take the siphoning away, he will punish you. He's very punitive. He is very clearly if he could get away with being a dictator, he would, and he would be a very authoritarian, actually totalitarian dictator.
Did I tell you what I read the other day off the internet? It says in 2011, the Dallas Morning News printed a story stating that the Dallas County Bail Bond Board had not collected $35 million in outstanding bond forfeitures from their licensed bondsmen. At the time, Dallas had 39 licensed bondsmen. One of them owned a nice little company that he had run for over 28 years. It was called Superior Bail Bonds. The gentleman that owned the company was well liked in the community, came from an amazing family, and had a family of his own, a wife and 2 children. He was known to be extremely generous with his employees and was generally loved by most people that knew him. When the story hit Dallas, the Dallas County Bail Bond Board reacted with shock and total embarrassment. You can read the story here, and I've got a link. I'll give that to the people that are listening. After this glaring report came out, the Dallas County Bail Bond Board reacted with what can only be seen as a witch hunt. They held secret phone conferences and decided the best way to handle this would be to sacrifice a bondsman to, quote-unquote, set an example. Those words were taken from the official transcript. Scott Jones, a rather sleazy man that had hassled the owner's employees and even one of his grown children to, quote, make him do what is right, was watching the owner night and day. It seemed to many people that there at the time he'd seemed almost determined to take him down. In the winter of that same year, Superior Bonding came up for its usual 24-month review at the Dallas County Bail Bond Board. At these hearings, every licensed bail bondsman is asked, do you have any outstanding judgments? Which legally meant in the county that you are licensed. Only being licensed in Dallas County, the owner, as he had done for 28 years, replied no. His license, as always, was renewed. 4 weeks later, the owner was approached in the halls of the Dallas County Courthouse by Jones, who said, hey, you've got a hearing coming up, buddy. And the owner replied with a shock and said, okay. He handed him a piece of paper. The piece of paper said, you are hereby ordered to appear before the Dallas County Bail Bond Board at a hearing to determine whether or not your license should be revoked. He was in shock. He went back to the office, combing through his records, spoke to others, and was not aware of anything that he had done to warrant this. He was finally informed from Jones that he was accused of lying to the Dallas County Bail Bond Board at his license renewal hearing. He was in shock. The attorney on the board, David Finney, who had recently relocated his family to Ellis County, would later be made known that the owner had 2 small outstanding judgments in Ellis County that he had not been made aware of. However, being licensed in Dallas County, it was not an issue. The owner went ahead and paid the forfeitures that very afternoon in cash, sending a runner down there. Bottom line, the Dallas County Bail Bond Board proceeded to permanently revoke the license of the owner, leaving him devastated and with no income. What ensued beyond that can only be called acts of criminal behavior by the various members of the local government. Courts were traded, witnesses lied, attorneys of the owner were hassled, even past employees of his were threatened. All other licensed bondsmen had their license renewed without hesitation. Bottom line, too, every licensed bondsman in Dallas County had a combined average of $10,000 in outstanding judgments at the time of their relicensing and subsequent renewals. They were not given any sanctions. And that, folks, is the definition of a witch hunt.
It's yeah, I mean, it certainly is unfortunate.
They said at the hearing, we're going to use you as an example to the other bondsmen. All 38 other bondsmen had a combined total of an average of $10,000 each in outstanding forfeitures when they went and got approved. Never without sanctions, none of them. Not one.
And it was Wiley Price that
John Wiley Price. He was he sat at the helm. Mm-hmm. He did it.
Did you ask? Did he answer any of the did you have any questions that he answered? Like, why are you singling us out? Was any of that ever asked?
You should read the transcript. It's something else. It's amazing. It was unbelievable when actor Victor got this happened to Vic, and it was devastating what happened to Victor. He went from making an income of $1,000 a day, not a week, not a month, a day, to nothing. We had a mortgage. We had people in college. We had car payments. We had electricity. We had everything, and it just went bink. And the first person that he hired, the attorney that he hired, they ran him down and tried to kill him to begin with because he said he knew that this car was trying to run him off the road. And then they tried to get him disbarred. The second attorney that they hired, they sent in. His name was Pat Monks. They had sent him in. He was with the Dallas County. He was with them, okay? He was trying to sell Victor down the river until I stepped in and said, are you out of your goddamn mind? What are you doing? And I stepped in and said, are you crazy? Well, he said, I won't talk to her. I will only talk to you. And it just went from that. The third one that Victor hired was sent in by them too, okay? And he tried to do a dirty deal with Victor. He said, don't worry about it. He said, he even gave him a book called Who Moved My Cheese? He said, you just have to realize, Victor, that sometimes life changes. And I thought, are you out of your mind? The third one, the fourth attorney and the third one they sent in was the biggest snake of them all. And Victor had given one $15,000, one of them $20,000, one of them $25,000, and one of them $10,000. And every one of them got off the case because both of them that Victor hired said, I can't do this. They're going to kill me. And the last one, Raul Loya, they tried to run him out on a rail because he was trying to help Victor. Nobody could help Victor. If you tried to help Victor, you suffered the wrath of the dirty Dallas County court system, of the government. And if you didn't, they would send somebody in because he was getting calls from these people. And
it sounds like something that they do in third world despot. It sounds worse than authoritarian. It sounds totalitarian.
You would not believe. I mean, I could read you things that went on that it would make your teeth itch to think that Victor went through that we actually went through this, that what they did to Vic. It was, excuse me, it was all but, it was horrendous. Hey,
and Debbie, you sometimes think that I go too far with this Stop White Guilt movement, but can you imagine if our government is run, and because John Wiley Price is not an aberration. He's not the exception to the rule. He's the rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're ruthless, and they are, and what, they believe they were wrong, and they believe like I said, anything they get, they deserve. They are They are the definition of politicians who have malignant self-love.
Mm-hmm.
Complete narcissists. I mean, they claim they're doing it for the people, but really and truly, it's benefiting them. They are benefiting hand over fist. And this is typical. This is your typical black politician. I could say you're Latino politician, but not as bad. Mm-hmm. This is narcissism, arrogance, egotism, all of it. It's awful.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please go ahead.
But no, I'm going to say that America will. America's going to turn. America's going to turn for the worse. It's not going to get better. Mm-hmm. As America becomes more minority, this kind of politician is what we have to look forward to. And this is going to be racial vendetta, and it's going to be corruption, the likes of which you've never seen. Mm-hmm. And America's going to turn more and more into one big inner city, if not complete third world dump.
The letter that this first idiot that was sent in as a player to Victor, I wrote him a letter calling him every name except a human, which he needed to be. He writes back, I will attempt to get your son licensed through my company. I have been in your spot years ago. No one gets out of life without a few speed bumps. Vic is a great guy. The situation is bigger than Vic, though. Every bondsman in the state is watching this case because they've all done the same thing. We have a new DA down here in Houston, and the Bell DA is gearing up to go after Houston Bell people for the same thing. I understand your frustration, but the fact situation started with two small judgments. We need a master plan. I have worked David Finney to keep him from getting Vic indicted. I'm sending you a case that we appealed 17 years ago. It will shed light on Vic's argument that the state should take the money out of Vic's account. It's not over. We just need a plan. I felt we equated 30 days not even getting your kids or an employee lined up. This can be turned around. And then he signed it. And I said, perhaps we should move for summary judgment. I could draft it. And he says, oh man, this was wild. He says, you're entitled to take a break, Debbie. Give yourself one. There is a solution. We have to step back from the table and look at the situation from a different perspective. Read the book I sent you, Who Moved My Cheese? No doubt change has happened to you. That's all. I don't know the answer, but I don't want to waste any more resources on trying to keep the Titanic afloat. Everything you said in your email to David Finney is true. I just didn't want him to see the desperation. We'll start all over again. You're in a fight, and it looks like this is a piece of cake compared to what you've experienced in your past. Life is not over. You haven't lost. It will take time to recover, but it will happen in time. My father had a heart attack in 1989, and all this blah, 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 blah. He filed bankruptcy. Who gives a fuck? So I understand. There is a solution. We just have to be creative. Don't let fear grip you. Otherwise, all you think about is the loss. You own the property on Riverside. It has a commercial potential you may have never realized, and you can stay in the bonding business. Keep the faith. Life is good. Now, I don't know what. So I said, can we move for summary judgment? He goes, no. It shocked us. The law seems clear, but the court argues the opposite. Read the rehearing. The truth story is in more how John Burns owed just a bunch of bullshit, he writes back. And then he says, hold on. He said, oh, wow, this gets good. I mean, it just gets to, I said, that's it. After all I said to you, that's all you've got to say? You destroyed a family, and I hope you're prepared to live with this. I said, who are you, Satan? And he said, I will withdraw from the case Monday. And I thought, what? You fucking destroyed You were part, because he wouldn't give us any answers. Nothing. He said, well, you just got to live with what, 6 half one, half dozen of the other, and bird in the hand's more true in the bush, and sent us a book called Someone Moved My Cheese or whatever the hell. We threw it away. I mean, this was insanity, what was going on. I know I've turned it to this.
Someone moved my cheese?
Yes, that's what he sent me to read. Someone moved my cheese. This was an attorney that was paid $25,000 to represent Victor. And Victor was in the right.
And he sent you a book called Someone Moved My Cheese?
If I'm lying, may God strike me dead. So I butted in.
This guy, wait a minute. This guy was giving you philosophical shit. He's already having you lose, and for that you pay him $30,000?
Yes. Yes.
What the?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why in the fuck are you going to, were any red lights going off? You're paying a person?
We tried everything, Mr. Midnight Movie. We even sued Dallas County, and it never even made it past the readers. They decide whether or not to case. They wouldn't even send it to the judge. It was an absolute witch hunt of something I could write a book about.
Did you take it to a higher court?
We took it to federal court.
And the federal court wouldn't see it.
Listen to what he says. I said, we could move for summary judgment. I could draft it. He goes, perfect. That's what I want. The Buddhists have a saying, action purifies thought. Yes, participate, Debbie. The answer will become clear after you work on the project. That's how he answered me.
Jesus Christ.
So when I say to you that we got fucked 3 ways from Sunday, you have no idea what I mean. I mean, I'm telling you, it will go down in history as one of the, besides what happened to John F. Kennedy, is one of the worst things to happen in Dallas County history. But it's all under the table.
It's corruption, and it's corruption 101. I mean, that's, and like that to destroy somebody's livelihood.
Yeah. After 28 years in service, and probably one of the sweetest bondsmen out there. Victor took in homeless people, Joey. And I wrote a little letter to David Finney. And that's when things started getting a little shaky pudding on us, because he was listening.
Do you think John Riley Price has ever listened to your show?
I hope so.
Well, he sounds like real scum, and I have to get my sorry ass to bed.
That's fine. Go ahead. I don't mind.
All right, I'm sorry, Debbie Pooh.
Why are you sorry? Get out of my life. I stepped in as a superhero and made some... Oh, did I lose him? I don't think he meant to do that. Oh, anyway. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah. So basically what we were talking about is the Nation of Islam. I believe that this person was in the Nation of Islam and perhaps came to my show for whatever freaking reason. I have no idea. Yeah, it's pretty crazy what happened with me. I stepped in. Oh, yeah, I stepped in. But they didn't like me. Oh, no, they didn't like me because I was too honest. Too honest. I'm the one that drafted the lawsuit. Yeah, wild stuff. There was a... hold on just a second. Where did I write that at? I thought I had the letter I wrote Mr. David Finney. I said, for many years, a member of the Dallas County Bail Bond Board has had it out for Mr. Montoya. His name is John Wiley Price. He hates Victor, and there's a reason. Mr. Montoya was made privy to the serious diabolical dealings that Mr. Price dealt in Dallas. Sir, Mr. Price himself is in the bail bond business. The FBI came very close to nailing Mr. Price just last summer on some of his dirty dealings. He is quite possibly one of the most crooked members of the Dallas County justice system in history. Just do a simple Google search of his name to find out. It is important that you know these facts. I know for a fact that Jones in the sheriff's office is out to get Mr. Montoya too. Two people, one of them being my business partner, that he was planning to get Victor in January. Jones has knowledge of the judgments in Ellis County, and he held off making a case for Victor until after his relicensing. This is a fact. Additionally, I happen to know a certain ex-employee of Cowboy Bail Bonds that will swear under oath that Buckley had many conversations regarding the takedown of Mr. Montoya. Buckley of Cowboy Bail Bonds wants to see Mr. Montoya taken out of business because he wants his location. A former disgruntled employee of Buckley's was engaged. Blah, 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 blah. We won't say that. Mr. Montoya would never, and I repeat, never jeopardize his license. He has been in good standing with Dallas County for over a quarter of a century. This case is a travesty. You can call me at the following number. And I stepped in and they went, oh, shit. Now she's playing. And they didn't like when I played because I played hardball with them. You know what I'm saying? And it was not pretty what I had to say to them. But I did send a letter to these people recently that that said to them, what else do you want? Do you want my blood? If you do, I'll come down to the courthouse steps and I will slice my hand and I will bleed on the courthouse steps. Do you want the blood of my children? Is that what you want? Because I can see you're not going to stop until we're dead, and that's fine. If that's the way you want to play, I just need to know the rules before we keep going. And recently, hold on, I'm reading something that just came up across the wire. See, what happened is this link to the scathing report that came out. Now, this all has to do with what we're talking about, the Nation of Islam, because this person, John Wiley Price, I believe, I'm a gambler and I would bet the house that he was Nation of Islam. For one thing, he always wore a bow tie. You cannot find anywhere you look on the internet, anywhere, John Wiley Price without his bow tie on. And that is a scalding proof of Nation of Islam. So basically, what we were trying to show here is this whole time, this guy was a troll, Mr. Solution. And in case y'all don't know the truth about what Mr. Midnight Movie does, is he takes a sleeping pill at certain times, and then when it kicks in quick. So anyway, there you go. He wouldn't mind me saying that because he said it before on the air, but that's fine. So I'm kind of left here going, hello, but the caller that called Mr. Midnight Movie. So this was taken to Mr. Solution, and he was questioned about it. And the next day, Mr. Midnight Movie's case, his show was 404'd. And when you're 404'd on Blog Talk Radio, they just completely delete you off the system. You lose all your archives. You lose everything. And people are just sitting there wondering, what the hell? If you go over to Blog Talk Radio at this very moment and type in the name Mr. Midnight Movie, you'll see you'll get a page that says 404'd. And it was really sad that they did that because he had no warning. And Jewish Producer and I tried to fight it as much as we could, but we couldn't fight it any better than we couldn't do it. We tried, and we knew that Mr. Solution had done that. We knew that he had done that. And we just couldn't prove it. So there you go. But he was a major player in my show. We did many. He came to me one time and wanted to know if he could do a complete Bible study with me. And he was genius. People were coming to it in droves. People that didn't even believe the Bible were there. It was a huge. I was averaging 1,500 to 2,000 a night. My listenership on Blog Talk Radio was enormous. But I want to go back to this call with me and Henry's bitch. It's good stuff.
And out herself, she should tell the truth. But I encourage women not to contact men online. Contact men in person, at the market, at the gas station, on the street, at work. Contact men where you have a legitimate. You can see them. You don't have to play those games. See, those are games that are being played at Dysfunction Junction.
All right, but what about getting to know somebody, getting to know them on the internet? Okay, first of all, let's assume that you're not lying about who you are. that you're not some 300-pound woman and saying that you're 110 pounds or whatever, but say you are who you are. What's wrong with getting to know somebody's psyche on the internet and more like their thought process, their insides, whatever you want to talk about, and then meeting them in person? What's wrong with that? Do you have a problem with that, really?
Nothing is wrong with it per se, but it's kind of like putting putting the cart before the horse. What I just said is, since you're going to have to inevitably meet a person, meet them at the outset. Women meet guys every day. Guys are out there, like I say. There's a myriad of guys out there. They would love to, good guys, great guys, that would love to have women show them some value, okay? And stop playing this artificial unavailability is what I like to dub it. And women could easily loosen up and just be social. They don't have to hide behind a keyboard. I mean, come on.
Well, sir, with all due respect, I think there's just as many men doing that as women are. And besides, statistics, which I can show you right now, government statistics say that at this point, 1 out of every 5 marriages are stemming off the Internet today.
Well, I've heard those figures. Yes, I have. In fact, I was just reading, I was just looking at a documentary recently, I believe it was on NBC, and it was talking about how women reject men vis-a-vis Internet dating who have 80% of the qualifications that the women ask for. And the researchers were marveling at that. They say 80%, wow, this is a guy. But the women were holding out for even more. They wanted more than 80% compatibility. So I'm just saying, Internet is a place, if you understand my drift here, where one can ask for the unreasonable. The expectations on the Internet can really get out of proportion. So my position is, do what you're going to have to inevitably do anyway. Just meet a person, meet a real person in a real setting.
What if they live where you live? What if they live in Australia or in Japan or in the Netherlands and you're crazy about this person and they're crazy about you? It's not that easy to get there. I mean,
Go ahead.
Are you completely against any kind of interaction on the Internet between men and women in the form of forming a relationship?
No, I'm not completely against it. No. I'm not completely against it. But what I have discovered, a number of things on the Internet, just like you say, people lie about who they are. Also, I notice with women a lot of times, they don't have the money to date long distance. They're expecting the man to foot the bill for them.
Oh,
and that's problematic also.
That's so untrue.
Excuse me?
That's patently untrue. How could you pontificate such a fictional view?
You do seem to have some archaic belief systems, I believe, about women.
Yeah, that's just absolutely patently untrue. And he can look...
Archaic. That was good. I'll give her that. That was good, Debbie.
The socioeconomical differences, even among the races, let alone among classes.
Well, what happens is, if women are look, the two biggest areas of contention between men and women is initiating stranger contact and paying for dates. Those are the
bottom line is, sir, people who are sincere are sincere. Have you ever heard the old adage, if you have to kiss a lot of toads to get
how many men have you asked out, lady? Because you're illegitimate. Your arguments
You're calling me lady and illegitimate only because I'm proving you wrong and actually giving
you're not proving anything.
Now
you're proving you're a moron.
You're getting angry.
How many men have you asked out and paid for dates?
Your bitterness is showing.
No. How many men have you asked out and paid for dates?
Well, I tell you what, Hanji, I'll answer your question.
Okay, why don't you just vanish?
Are you married?
That would be the best thing, is for you to vanish.
I can't help but notice the anger in dealing with Henry's bitch versus the non-anger dealing with me. And how he seems to be going to ad hominem attacks that you're this or you're that or you're this or you're that. Curtis asked, what does 404 mean? 404 is technically the internet word for page not found. 404. If you type in something and it says 404, that means page not found is specifically, I think, what it means. But two people requested to continue to play more of Mr. Solution. Let's do this.
Have you ever been married?
Debbie, okay. Debbie, are you there?
Been married.
She wants to know, have you ever been married?
Please, I don't want to respond to her. I'm sick of her.
Well, of course he can't respond, because then he has to actually admit to everyone that
you go and be with the man you supposedly have.
So, see? He's a failure trying to cover it. He's a loser. Loser.
See, this is a fool. This is an absolute moron.
He hasn't answered any questions from the
I wouldn't answer. You're not worth my answering a question, okay?
I make you angry because I actually say things to you that matter, and it makes you mad. I'm the kind of woman you're intimidated by, therefore your ire raises when I ask any kind of question.
You're the kind of woman that a man would just pump and dump.
A great marriage and great children. And
you should go and be with him. God, please, go be with him. I don't see how he can tolerate you.
The whole thing. You're bitter because you're the kind of man, a woman like me, and there's so many of us, including the host of this show, that when you walk away, we turn to our friend and go, as if.
I don't know if I'd go that far, Henry's bitch.
Don't even lie, Debbie. Don't you even lie.
He is a little bit tough to take. Let me pause right just 1 second. We're live on Ustream, ladies and gentlemen, which means we're fixing to slip into the BTR archive. However, we are live over on Ustream, which you can hear the archive live. If Stabby's in the room, Stabby knows the link, so does John. If y'all would not, that's such a long link for me to type, please type the link in my chat room for everybody. And if you want to listen to us live, go over to Ustream and listen to us. And if not, you'll have to wait on the replay of the show. But I just wanted to interrupt and say I did go ahead and go live, which we are live at this time. If you don't mind, I'm so sorry. John Brand in the chat room says, I cannot imagine any woman liking this guy. They say, I am your host, the man I call Ghost. Maybe that's Ghost. I don't know. Bet he knows. I don't have my contacts in. I'm sorry. They also say, thank you, Monkey. They're kind of chewing you up. Bet he knows how to get his pimp hand strong. I don't know what that means. They are kind of chewing you up a little bit, and I'm trying to stay sort of on the fence here with it because I'm the host. But everybody on the board, there's 20 people with their hand up. So I'm going to ask you at this point, with Henry's Bitches mic live and our relationship guys mic live right now, if you want to talk about this subject or to the gentleman or to Henry's bitch, you can push 1 and push it again. Make your hand flash, because if not, I'm going to just assume you're a troll that's wanting to get some words in on the program here. All right? We've got some hands flashing. All right, 936, your hand is flashing. So is yours, but I'll get 36, you're live.
Hello?
Oh, hell. Is this Tyrone?
Who the fuck is this?
Oh, no. I haven't talked to Tyrone in forever. Tyrone, this is Debbie Daly.
This is Todd Morris. He was a part of my show, and he would go into character sometime, and I'm playing along with it. But I know it's Todd Morris because he's calling from area code 936. It's right below Dallas.
Oh, Debbie Daly. Oh, you must be that white woman.
Yes, that's me, Tyrone. This is Tyrone Shoelaces, people. You're on the air, Tyrone, with a gentleman that is a relationship expert, advice giver, and with Phil Hendry's bitch.
Relationship. Tyrone don't know nothing about no relationship. But I've been listening to him. It kind of sounds like he's from the KKK. And y'all know Tyrone's tip of the day. Stay away from the KKK.
For those of you
who... I don't know about that relationship, man. He sounds like a pretty man. He sounds like a crazy.
Tyrone is a comedian out of California, and I love him. I'm sorry I had to give you up. He's fascinating. Go ahead. Mr. Would you like to touch Tyrone? He's hysterical.
Relationship man. Are you there?
Yes, he's there. His mic is hot. Hello?
But he ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, hi,
go ahead. Debi.
He's there.
He with the KKK.
He answered you.
Are you with the KKK? I see some folks in my front yard. They got a cross on the fire, and they got some masks on.
Always says that, Tyrone, the KKK are not in your front yard burning a cross, and the popo are not on your ceiling, on your roof, trying to get into your house. You say that every time you call.
By the way, I'm sending out a popo report to all my Blog Talk Radio niggas out there. Be on the lookout for relationship, man. He's trying to mess shit up.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Tyrone he's adorable. He's a comedian. He's out of California. He's a mess. He always thinks the KKK is burning a cross in his front yard and the popo's on his roof trying to get in to get him. He's a little bit whack, but we love you, Tyrone, but this is not the show for you. All right, we have another hand flashing right here, which is, I believe, another Skype caller. You're on the air with Debbie.
Yes, hello, Debbie. This is Jewish producer, and I just had a couple comments to make, and I'll take the rest listening. First off, I think Bobby Dooley is very bullish and boorish, and there's so many things that I agree, not 100%, but with Solution, I agree with the fact that you got to get off the computer. You got to meet the person in real life. I can't tell you how many people I had dated online, and every one of them was ridiculous, weird, and crazy. And the one woman that I met in person is the one I ended up marrying. And I think that there's a lot of validity to his point in that arena.
Did you hear
Yeah,
that?
I think that's about it.
He's legit. This is Jewish producer. He's a very legit, very, very neat, cool guy.
Well, I say kudos to him.
And I say that Bobby Dooley, you are bullish and you are boorish.
Oh, I'm sure that I probably am just such a wimpy guy like you.
Ouch! Oh, Bobby, this was Bobby Dooley. I don't know what to do. I couldn't breathe. Yes.
I can fight. I can fight when I want to fight.
Well, I have to worry about Steve and the cats mating outside of the condo. You know, being part of the homeowners association. I'm really caught up in those issues today.
I love Bobby Dooley, and I love your husband, Steve.
Steve, you got to shoot those cats. They're mating. The girls will see them.
Bobby Dooley is a very haughty woman that lives in Western Hills, and she is the homeowner president. She's very rich, and she's not proud. She is not too proud to tell you how rich she is and how she doesn't want the undesirables. Victor's laughing.
Well, I have to tell you, as president of the Homeowners Association, I don't know if we would be open to having a producer of this type in our home. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but
that's ridiculous. Because I'm a Jew.
It brings down property values. Unfortunately, people smell barbecue, and we just can't have that in our gated community. And it's not that we have anything wrong with it. I've taken the children to the Holocaust Museum, but unfortunately, the fact they were frying chickens out front made us feel like we had to buy a little tchotchke here and there. And you know, I just don't want my property values to go down. But thank you for calling, Mr. Producer. And
the more you talk, the more
Shabbat
you
Shalom.
talk, the more I believe this. what this other man is saying. How does your family stand you?
Yeah, Shabbat Shalom.
I'm sorry. Victor and I are over here cracking up, Mr. Jewish producer. Just don't move to Western Hills. Suffice it to say, stay out of Western Hills and everything will be just fine. Yeah. Mr. Relationship Man, are you still with us?
Very bitter. I believe he's economically challenged.
Yeah, Mr. Solution here.
Did you not hear the questions from the Jewish producer that's on the line?
Yes, I heard what he said.
I don't think they were questions. They were just comments at just my 2 cents.
Well, it's only natural that they would meet on a certain level, seeing, obviously, Debbie, they wouldn't, they're...
Okay, let's move on and let me show you a little piece of what happened with Mr. Solution on the show that I had going on. Let me give you a little taste of what happened with him. He moved in and got real comfortable. Let me just randomly pick one of these. I'm just going to randomly hit one. Let's just see what this is.
When you don't go to Geico.com...
I told everybody that was listening, I said, guys, we can't talk about this without referencing the Bible. It's the only reference we have. I'm not asking you to believe that Jesus was the Son of God. I'm asking you to reference a history book.
Hey, there's where we got that drop. That's so weird. That's where we got that drop that was on my intro all that long time.
That is just as real as reading about Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, yeah. I mean there is a lot. The Romans especially were...
Don't argue with me because you know I'm always right, and I get so tired of being right, because I just wish one time I could be wrong. It's just an old joke that I got from my father, okay? So relax.
Right.
No, I don't think his parents are divorced.
Right. I think they're still together, and I know they were together all the while he was growing up. So the fact that he chose this bullshit gang life, and by the way, that's extremely dysfunctional. And I was going to say it generally means there's no man in the home. That gang is just like a pack of animals. That is totally what I call sociopathic, and it's just outright dysfunctional.
Well, I think it's stupid. I think it's like playing war on the streets of your hometown. It's like, this is our area and that's your area, and if you come over here, one of my very best friends got killed because he was in a gang. Yeah,
and men, quality men, would stifle that. We would not allow that. We would not allow that to occur. We would kick the children's butts. We would discipline them. We wouldn't allow that to happen.
This is an entry to a contest. Hold on, stop. This is an entry to a contest that I did with Old Rooter, and we won. We came in first place. This was my entry.
Could have rekindled that fire, but old flames can't hold a candle to you.
That's Rooter backing me up.
No one can light up the night like you do. Flicker.
Up an octave. Now sometimes
all the time because she has to wake up and breastfeed me. And she's been doing this for the past 8 years. She even gave me a little pop-up book that showed me how to mix alcoholic beverages. That's why she's always tired. And drunk.
No, we're going to be nice. Who's Jesus Christ Superstar? Oh, Ryan. Okay, hang on. Let's pick up Jesus. Okay, Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, how are you? 141-143-151-165-166-191-196-199-222-236-142-522-676-926-925-282-285.
Oh my gosh, I was waiting for you to go through all the other callers. I was sitting back.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. My heart is paralyzed. My head was oversized. I'll take the high road like I should. You said it's meant to be, that it's not you, it's me. You're leaving now for my own good. That's cool, but if my friends ask where you are, I'm gonna say she went down in an airplane, fried getting suntan, fell in a cement mixture full of quicksand. Help me, I'm no good at goodbye. She met a shark on the water, fell and no one caught her. I returned everything I ever bought her. Help me, I'm all out of lies and ways to say you died. Pride still feels the sting. You were my everything. Someday I'll find a love like yours. A love like yours. She'll think I'm Superman, not Superman even. How could you leave on Yom Kippur? That's cool, but if my friends ask where you are, I'm gonna say she was caught in a mudslide, eaten by a lion, got run over by a crappy purple scion. Help me, I'm no good at goodbye. She dried up in the desert, drowned in a hot tub.
I bet you never thought you'd hear a song with a kazoo in it. Those are some young guys that did that. Good guys, too. Really, actually pretty talented. I'm going to play y'all what I consider to be, and I'm going to put my ass on the line here and hope I don't get caught by my licensing people, which are ASCAP, CSAC, and BMI. I'm not allowed to play the Beatles, but I'm going to show you what I consider to be the all-time #1 Beatles song in my world, showing off a menagerie of their talent. And I just ran into it on my iTunes. I haven't been on this iTunes in a long time. I'm on the old computer. Can you believe that? And it goes a little something like this. Now, I say this is, truly, it is my favorite of all time. And the reason why is I believe it shows off their talent as vocalists. I give you my favorite song of the Beatles. 2 minutes and 18 seconds long. Pretty short song, actually. Here we go.
Paperback writer. Dear sir or madam, will you read my book? It took me years to write, will you take a look? It's based on a novel by a man named Lear, and I need a job, so I want to be a paperback writer. Paperback writer. It's a dirty story of a dirty man, and his clinging wife doesn't understand. His son is working for the Daily Mail. It's a state wants to be a paperback writer. Paperback writer. Paperback writer. It's 1,000 pages, give or take a few. I'll be writing more.
They're saying Farah Jaka, Farah Jaka.
I can change it around, and I want to be a paperback writer. Paperback writer. If you really like it, you can have the rights. It could make $1 million for you overnight. If you must return it, you can send it here. But I need a break, and I want to be a paperback writer. Paperback writer. Paperback writer. Paperback writer. Paperback writer. Paperback writer.
I used to think this was one of the coolest songs I'd ever heard in my life. As far as compositions by John Williams go, I thought this was amazing. The way these compositions seem to speak to you. They're not home. It just seemed to have a talking chorus to it or something. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to play another one of my favorite songs that I haven't played for you guys in a long time. And it is an older song, of course, which I believe most of the better songs are older songs. There are some good things out nowadays that I like a lot, but I'm going to go back in time here with you. I think this was brilliantly done by this gentleman here. Not that one, but this one.
I was traveling down the road, feeling hungry and cold. I saw a sign saying food and drinks for everyone. So naturally I thought I would take me a look inside. I saw so much food, there was water coming from my eyes. Yeah, there was ham and there was turkey, there was caviar, and long tall glasses with wine up to yar. And then somebody grabbed me, threw me out of my chair. Said before you can eat, you gotta dance like Fred Astaire. You know I can dance, you know I can dance. You know I can dance, you know I can dance. I can dance.
There's my little pet. Go on. Go, go, go. It's a roach.
I am a man of the road, a hobo by name. I don't seek entertainment, just poultry and
gain. Okay, moving on. Another one that I like. I just can't believe I just found this one. This is amazing. I love the crap out of this.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
I woke up this morning with the sun down, shining in. I found my mind in a brown paper bag, but then I tripped on a cloud and fell 8 miles high. I tore my mind on a jagged sky. I just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
I pushed my soul in a deep dark hole, and then I followed.
Switch up. Another favorite coming up now. Here we go. Ready?
Crawling out.
For Dr. B, this was written about a fallen sheriff in New York City that got killed in the line of duty. Well, a deputy.
Mama, take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. It's getting dark, too dark to see. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Mama put my guns in the ground. I can't shoot them anymore. That long black cloud is coming down. I feel I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door.
I was over at the chat room. I missed it. It's going to play the next song. What is it going to be? Wait, stop. I haven't forsaken you people in the chat room. I just came over there to say hi to you right now. I was trying to write out the words. I have not forsaken you. I just get caught up in other things. So there I am. I see that there's a bunch of people in there that I don't know who you are, like Pledium, Power, Bloviator, Mr. Solution, I don't know who you are, Eric, and people that I think are under sock accounts. So there you go. I don't know who you are. It's really weird because you're under socks and I don't know who you are. So yeah. Haven't forsaken you though. Now, there was a time in my life, this is a really, I think it's a neat story. There's a time in my life when I lost complete control of Stephen. Stephen was really close to me and until he turned about 12, and then I just kicked him away because I didn't want him to be one of those clingy mother type men. So I said, get out of here, whatever. Kicked him to the curb, so to speak. Of course, I didn't actually do that. And he began to just blossom into a young man, and he had all these friends, and he did all this kind of stuff, motorcycles and all that kind of crazy stuff. But when he turned about 16, it was about 17, he got involved in weed, and he got involved in it in a big way. And I allowed it in my house, in his room, under certain circumstances. I didn't want him doing it any other place, and so he came to me and he said, I want to try weed, and I said, fine, whatever. And one thing led to another. About a year into it, though, I'd really kind of lost him. And what I mean by that is it was nothing more than just passing me in the hall and just going, how you doing? And I've always been a night owl. Ever since I was born, I've always been a night owl. And I would stay up sometimes until 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning after the family had all gone to bed, and I would straighten up the house. I would straighten up the kitchen, load the dishwasher, pick up the living room, whatever I did. And I would fold a load or two or laundry, whatever. Because during the day I had things going on. And I was listening one night to, or one day, sometime, I don't know where I was, but I was listening to an old Cars CD of mine. And if you know me well enough to know, you shouldn't be able to know who my favorite band is really of all time. That's the Cars. And the Cars had a song that came out one time. And when I wait a minute, I jumped ahead. When I would be up late cleaning or whatever I was doing, I would notice that the light underneath his door would be on. And it was weird that he would be up that late. But I wouldn't bother him because I knew that he was doing something that I trusted him. He was really going through something that I knew that he needed to go through. And when I heard this song, it reminded me so much of Stephen, just the entire lyric of it. live statistics, we're reading 156 live right now. So there's a lot of people that listen that don't talk, don't put bullshit down, and I'm fine with that. I am so down with that. I'm so fine with that. And guess who needs to go outside? That's right, you guessed it. Little Miss Boo Face. Little boopers, the boop head. Just a second, please. When she has to go right then. Thank you. Hold on. Shut up. Sorry. Let's go with. I had a guy call me. Well, no, I don't want to hear that. Let's go back to the other show. Y'all want to hear whatever happened on the show with Karen? I mean, Phil Hendry's bitch. Or should we go paranormal for a minute? We'll go paranormal. Victor did this for me. I didn't do this. He made these. He cut out pieces of an interview that I did one time that was really kind of interesting, and he made them short. Fufu, I hear you. Mommy hears you. Look, I hear you. Look at me looking at you. I hear you. Just hang on. He did these for me, and I never did play them, so I'm sorry, Victor, but I'm going to play them now. There's a couple of them that are short. This is an interview that I did with a guy named David Roundtree. Take a listen to this. I don't know what's in it, but this is a piece of it.
I wanted to get back real quick to the orbs for a second, because orbs are a very controversial thing. There's basically two camps on orbs. There's the camp that says they're all spirits, and there's the camp that says, oh, no, it's all dust. And I've always felt that the truth lies somewhere in between those two extremes. And we developed a system to start mapping orbs and trying to pin down whether they existed, whether it was just dust. And what we did determine is about, I'd say probably 95% of all the orbs captured on photograph is, in fact, dust or particulate matter within 4 inches of the camera. We were actually able to duplicate some pretty spectacular orbs using some just ordinary everyday dust and sand. On the other hand, we have captured to date 7 orbs now that were not dust. In fact, they were cold plasma. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with what cold plasma is, but plasma is the fourth state of matter. You know, we have a solid, a liquid, and a gas, and then we have this weird stuff called plasma. And what plasma is ionized matter, extremely ionized matter. And it could have started out as any of the other 3 forms of matter, but once it's extremely ionized, it becomes plasma. Now, normally, 90% of the plasma that exists in the universe is extraordinarily hot, like 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit, for example.
Okay.
However, have you ever seen a neon light?
Yes, I have.
That's an example of cold plasma. But neon, the trick about a neon light is that the glass has to be intact because it has to be stable, and the glass encapsulates it in a stable environment. And what cold plasma is, and what an orb is it's cold plasma, is it's plasma that's encapsulated in, guess what? An electromagnetic field for stability. So there's essentially a force field around this plasma ball that keeps it stable until it discharges. Now, we've actually sampled a couple of these things, and we can't measure the electrical level of them because they blow the meter every time we catch one. But what we have and what we know is that another byproduct of a wormhole opening up is a matter mix occurs where you have a form of matter that's out of phase with another form of matter, and it causes a violent reaction which ionizes the air. And we believe that the formation of a wormhole creates these cold plasma balls that we call orbs. Well, there's only one way to know for sure, and that is to take 2 cameras, set them up in 2 different positions, and photograph the same area from 2 different angles with 2 different cameras. If you have an orb in one camera but not the other camera, it's dust. If you have an orb in the same place in the room in both shots, you've got cold plasma.
Does it have to be digital?
Nope, not at all.
Really? You mean a 35 millimeter could catch it on film?
If you are using a flash, how how this plasma becomes visible is that it absorbs photons. In other words, when the flash goes off, an orb will absorb that 150,000 lumens of photons and become visible for probably a thousandth or 2,000ths of a second, maybe, just enough for it to be able to be captured with film. And then it immediately sheds those photons and reverts back to its quantum state where you don't see it. However, there are cold plasma balls that are visible and many times can be seen with the naked eye.
Have you seen that?
I have seen.
Wow.
Are you kidding? After 34 years, there's not much I haven't seen. But
I'm back. This guy was amazing. He really was. He was cool as crap. Let's see what else we can get our hands into around here. I never play music. I really don't. I don't play a lot of music. I do sometimes, but then I don't. That didn't make any sense, did it? No, I don't. I don't play music at all. So I'm still over here on my iTunes. And I have a hard candy in my mouth. I know. It has replaced everything I used to eat that was full of sugar. This is a sugar-free. I put the paper in my pocket because I couldn't throw it on the floor. I couldn't find the trash can. It was, where was it? Oh, here it is. It is a sugar-free Werther's Original Hard Candy, whatever they're called. It's a, you know what it is? What, I don't know what you call it. Anyway, yeah. So that's what I'm got in my mouth, in case you were wondering. But Debi plays host to a non-U.S. radio and a future Blackwater soldier. I wonder what that is. These are things that have been taken off the archives, and I don't listen to them much. Yeah, it's so funny. I know. Nope, I'm not going to say a word. I don't even want to address it. Let's see what else we have here. A lot of good stuff I like. A lot of my favorite music that I could play, but some people would think, well, I don't know if they would like it or not. Well, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just play what I like here, unless there's some sort of request that somebody wants to hear something. I've never turned down anybody's request. I've always played whatever anybody wants to hear. I've always been a big fan of Alice Cooper. I think that Alice Cooper was way ahead of his time. And I know people are like, what does that mean, way ahead of his time? Well, I think that he was, number one, I think he was, I'm sure he's still alive, a genius at what he did. I think some of the music that he came out with at the time, which I don't remember if it was 60s or 70s or whatever, but it seemed way before people were able to really understand it. And he did one song that I thought was, a lot of people would think it's weird. I think it is probably his opus. And if you don't know what that is, look it up.
I love the dead before they're cool. The bluing flesh for me to hold. Cadaver eyes upon me see nothing. No farewells, no goodbyes. I never even knew your now rotting face. While friends and lovers mourn your silly grave, I have other uses for you, darling. soldiers and Nixon's coming. We're finally on our own. This summer I hear the drumming. For dead in Ohio. 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 How many more? For dead in Ohio. Why? For dead in Ohio. For dead in
They're in the same boat. I mean, when it comes to property values, in gated communities and all the things that Steve and I are concerned with the girls and being pressured by the Democratic Party because of these two, no, they're just undesirables.
Ooh, ouch. All right. Mr. Jewish producer, would you like to respond to that?
I'm wondering if she sits in the tanning bed as much as that woman in New Jersey.
Again, an undesirable says undesirable things. And, of course, he would be obsessed with things burning, wouldn't he?
Ooh, ouch. We are getting a little bit racist here on the program, guys. I hope
that's not racist, Debbie. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you want to talk about barbecue, woman. I mean, obviously, brisket, whatever. They know how to burn things.
You understand the first thing about relationships.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for your opinion. Go away now.
Ouch. All right, everybody. We're getting ugly here. I'll just have to bring Tyrone back on if we will. Tyrone, what would you like to say to Henry? Tyrone?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't think you would be welcome in Western Hills either, Tyrone.
No, I'll stay away from there. I want to talk to that Jewish boy. Jewish boy, you stay away from the KKK now, 'cause they really don't like your kind. That's where it all started at.
Open my eyes to a new kind of way. All the good times that you said.
This is when Journey found Steve Perry. when they heard him singing backup, they were like, "Who the hell was that?" Put him on the front.
Am I just a fool? The summer's gone, she'll be back, standing by the light. What she's been to, where she's gone to, she should know wrong from right. It's a feeling, are you feeling? You're feeling that way too? Or am I just a fool? A new road's waiting,
Yeah, I firmly believe after Bill Clinton, that Bill Clinton alone is reason enough not to elect anyone from Arkansas president for 100 years. And if that is not sufficient for you, then I have something to read you. This is from the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. I'm kind of surprised that Arkansas has a newspaper. I am. I was shocked because since they didn't know that, that oral sex was adultery, I thought maybe they'd get in their news while sitting around the cracker fuck barrel.
Step right up, come on in. If you'd like to take the grand tour of the lonely house that once was home sweet home, I have nothing here to sell you, just some things that I will tell you, some things I know will chill you to the bone. Over there sits the chair where she'd bring the paper to me and sit down on my knee and whisper, oh, I love you. But now she's gone forever, and this old house will never be the same without the love that we once knew. Straight ahead, that's the bed where we lay in love together, and Lord knows we had a good thing going here. See her picture on the table, don't it look like she'd be able just to touch me and say, good morning, dear. There's her rings, all her things, and her clothes are in the closet like she left them when she tore my world apart.
God damn it, I'm sorry. I wasn't even thinking about Wolfman. Fuck! I am so sorry. I wasn't even thinking. What am I doing? I just sat there and I thought, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. If you're listening, I don't know that you're listening, but if you are listening, I am sorry. I wasn't even thinking. What the fuck was I thinking about? I just saw George Jones, and I love the hell out of George Jones. Let's move on to something that happened a little bit longer ago. Let's just try this, all right? Let's do this. I'm so sorry if that's true. If you're listening. If you are, 1,000 pardons.
As well as the negative crap that we're subjected to, and hold true on your path, and then things become more flowing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Absolutely. You know, and I tell people all the time that it is just like the faith and trust of a child with a parent. Mm-hmm. Got to have faith, got to have trust. And it's just like when you give...
I love that.
Do what?
No, I love that. I love what you just said.
When you give a child his medicine if he's sick, and he opens his little mouth like a little bird, and you take that teaspoon, he trusts that you're not giving him rat poison.
Mm-hmm.
He opens his little mouth, and he looks up at you. Or when you take him in your arms and you hold him in 6 feet of water,
mm-hmm.
he trusts you. He holds his little tiny arms out. Daddy, catch me, catch me. Okay? That is faith of a child, people. You're born with the instinctive, born-in, God, blood-bought faith in you. Why do we lose it? Why? And I think it's because we can't see God.
Because it's our ego.
Yeah, we can't see Him. We haven't met Him. We can't touch Him. He hasn't signed our autograph book from high school. He hasn't loaned us a CD. We haven't gone to eat with Him in the lunchroom. We haven't seen Him make score a touchdown on a football field. We can't believe it because we can't see it.
Right.
But it doesn't mean it's not there. And if you think about it, there's so many things that we know and we see and we have that we can't see. I love somebody, but I can't see that love.
Trying to explain them to you a couple of different times, and I know your mind was trying to cope with what you had to deal with.
Well, not only that, but I was trying to save these people. I was trying to help them.
Yeah.
To the ones that you speak with.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I don't know me anymore.
Oral,
your mic is hot.
It is.
Oral, man, what's going on?
So don't get burned.
Oh, wow. Hey, Dream Master, how's it going tonight, buddy?
Pretty good, buddy. Pretty good, man. What's going on?
I'm still trying to come down from that show I just did. I'm cranked up.
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Debbie.
Hi,
Love you, girl.
My future roommate. We're going to have slumber parties next weekend.
Oh.
Yep, sure.
I'm actually going to Oro Jungo's house with my husband, of course, and with his beautiful
Yeah,
wife,
okay.
Paula, but we're going to have slumber parties.
For sure, bring the PJs that have the feet in them.
Oh, is it getting cold? Oh, I cannot wait. I would leave right now if I could.
Go. And when you and that's very interesting, Debbie. When you mention that your ego is shattered, and I understand what you're saying, is that know who you are within yourself, okay, and you can put your ego back together in such a timely manner, where that you can continue doing what you love doing, and not allowing ego to once it's together again, to influence what your purpose is. And
yeah, but I know. I just think, and I think Oro can probably attest to this, that I'm not sure that everybody knows really the extent to what I went. TV's fun. And it's not you, it's my computer. My computer is so slow, it's like, I'm surprised it's even working right now. I think my computer even feels my thyroid.
Man. The thyroid is spreading into the computer.
Spinning, buffering, spinning, buffering. So I don't even know if it's going to work. But hang on, 803, I'm trying to pick up your call, but it's not working. I'm so sorry, guys. It's not me, it's my computer. Like everything, I mean, when I look around, everything else seems fine. I mean, you've got good relationships. Don't you have everything else is pretty much fine except for your employment?
Except for money. I need some money. So I need a job that I can physically do since I can't get disability. Well, since they denied me, and I have bills.
What else can you do, or what else have you done? You sound like you're mature. How old are you? Are you in your 30s?
Yeah, I turn 34 next month.
Well, what have you been doing all this time for money?
No, I wasn't very nice to be around. So I had a huge shift in my life. So we broke up because I was basically unpleasant. But still,
you were a jerk.
I was kind of
you were a jerk, okay?
I was a jerk, but basically, I'm not saying it was all this reason, but she seemed to be elusive, and it frustrated me. And instead of communicating it or dealing with it, I just got distant and kind of angry. And she's got a smile on her face all the time. She'll kiss me when she walks out the door, or she'll greet me, but it just doesn't. I don't know. Okay. I don't know what it is that bothers me about it.
Was she like this before the breakup, or was she different, or is she like this now? Is what I'm thinking.
Well, she's a little more stressed out now. She's got a business and she works very hard. But basically, yeah, she was like the man that was that's kind of not really there. That's like always at work in their head, even when they're in front of you, they're not really there.
I'm listening.
Gosh, I don't even know how to explain it.
I'm listening intently.
So it's very
got
easy.
Serious issues with men. What happened between her and her father? Let's see if we can get down to an infection here. I think there's an infection below this.
Well, the funny thing is, I'm a mentor and a counselor, so I deal with people all the time.
Yeah, but you can't help yourself. You're too biased. You're too close to the situation.
Yeah.
I'm sensing something in her life was really serious about her father.
That he's really interested. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to put a lot of energy into something. And I
see another girl.
Yeah.
And yes, we're girls if we're 82. I see another girl.
We kind of talked about that. Somebody that he said that he's
living with somebody, if not married.
Oh, he's not. He's actually living with his mom.
I don't know. I get a real strong vibe. Maybe he's located at his mom's, but he's staying with somebody all the time. But he's unhappy in a relationship and wants to put you on the shelf and not let your expiration date go out and want you to sit there and wait while he decides on what he's going to do with this.
You remember a pop in his cubs. You know how that goes. Anyway, so no, I don't get it, and I don't feel. You're exactly right. There's no point in fighting it because it is kind of silly. It is kind of silly to let him get to you, but it's kind of hard not to when they come out here and they do say those things. And any man who stands up for himself is going to say, you know what, enough's enough, dude. I ain't going to take it anymore. And you want to meet somewhere, we'll finish this man to man, because that's exactly how I roll. And you can call me gay, call me whatever you want.
I guess I just don't see it that way. I just don't see it that way. I don't know why I don't. Guy had me thrown off a BTR. That was a little prick that was behind having me kicked off a BTR. I mean, if anybody, I just don't. I don't know why I don't. Maybe I should be. I'm the idiot.
You're very forgiving. And I said that. And I think that there's some very, very wonderful things to be said about that. To have a good heart and give people a second chance and a third chance. But there's certain things that you can't say and give another chance for. And what Strope had said is not room for a second chance. That's my child.
Yeah, I guess. I understand, I guess. I can't really say honestly that I really completely understand because they defamed my daughter's Facebook horribly. And they said they were going to do all this kind of stuff and this, that, and the other. I just ignore it. They're just trying to get a rise out of you. They're not going to rape your daughter.
And they're not. Yeah, they're not. And I'm done with it. You see how calm I am. Normally I'd be freaking losing it. So you should be proud of me right now, Debbie, because I've learned from what you said.
Let's laugh. What can we laugh at?
We always laugh.
What can we laugh at? We need to play something.
I don't know.
What about
anything Adam Sandler right now?
Adam Sandler. All right. Let's see what we can find on Adam
Sandler.
Sandler.
Christmas songs out that are hysterical.
Adam Sandler. All right. We'll see what we can come up with. Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler.
Where's he has a Hanukkah song.
Yeah, he's good. Let's see. Adam. I'll tell you something else. Oh, I got to play you the funniest thing first. It's called SNL. I think I played it the other night. I don't know if you were there. It's hysterical. It's about a guy that... I took my glasses off and I can't see shit whenever I have my glasses off. Listen to this song. It's hysterical. It was on Saturday Night Live, okay? And it was... it's called the Cocaine Song. You're going to crack up, I think. Just listen to the words.
I
don't know why, but today seems like it's gonna be a great day. There's something in the air that makes me feel like things are gonna go my way. The birds are chirping tweedledee. The sun is shining bright. There's a skip in my step, a pep in my pep. And I don't know why.
It's a YouTube video. I've got to drop the link in there because you'll die. This will make you laugh, I promise. Okay?
Cool.
And anybody else in the chat room, go to this link and follow along because it is hysterical. Okay? Here we go. Iconoclast. Call in. I ignored your call last night. I'm so sorry. And you had a show. Here we go. Everybody get ready. 1, 2, 3. Click. Click. Okay, I clicked it. Here we go. All right, here we go. It says one of Saturday Night Live's funniest shorts. It's hysterical, and I've got really good, I think I've got good, what do you call it? Good what? When it comes to comedy?
What?
Just watch this.
I don't know why, but today seems like it's gonna be a great day.
Well, mine's jumpy.
Oh, shit. How?
The sun is shining bright.
On Blog Talk.
Playoffs.
It's these goddamn advertisements. It's coming off of the the page that I'm on Blog Talk Radio.
I wish that you were...
You wish what, darling?
I wish you were in the chat room because 18 posted something really, really cool. It's Neil Peart's drum set. And it's a diagram of it.
When we're in the room, the condoms are like 1 feet away.
Go get some right now. I think they should be passed out at the local high schools. Well, that's saying that it's okay to have sex. They're going to do it anyway. You know, it's just like I said, if I tell my kids, don't smoke pot, you know, they're going to go, oh, I can't. I'm sorry, my mom told me not to smoke pot. Forget it. It was on a Saturday night. It was a carnival, okay? Future, when they download the podcast, what are we talking about? What kind of things were said without giving out any kind of names? You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's like, it's cool. I will call you. And he called me and talked to me for a minute, and then he wrote and said, oh, it's cool. Whatever that is, it's cool.
So suffice it to say, I've probably taken over 1,000 phone calls since I've started this podcast. 1,000, if easy 1,000. Talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people have talked to me. But anyway, so yeah, that's it. I guess I'll let y'all off the hook. All right. Thanks for listening, and I will see you guys later on. Letters from Home from John Michael Montgomery. What is that? I'm checking the chat room now. Excuse me. Penicillin is what? What are you talking about, Mr. Darky? I don't know who you are. I think you're somebody under a sock, and that's fine. Whatever. There you go. CCSNY. CCSNY. BHY. I don't know what you are talking about. You are talking in code or something. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. Glad y'all listened. Everybody's asleep over here. I did a bunch of stuff today. Contrary to what I was told today, I didn't have... Some people have a life outside of Spreaker. No, I have no life outside of Spreaker. What are you kidding? Spreaker's all I have. This is all I have. This is all I have. All I have, period. Just go through my email account if you want to see what I don't do during the day. I do more than a lot of people. But here's the way I look at that. So many times people on this network say, well, I have a life outside of Spreaker. And I think that is so cruel that people do that because most people do have a life outside of Spreaker. And for somebody to say that, I don't know why somebody would say that. I think it's stupid and it's dumb. And of course we do. Y'all hear half my life outside of Spreaker because they call on the phone, they come in the door, they do all kinds of things. Of course I do. I do things you don't even know I do. I belong to clubs you don't know I belong to. I have a life that you have no idea what I do. So for somebody to say something as stupid as that, somebody that I used to respect, I'm not so sure how much that respect is holding on to right now. We're slipping up on 300,000 plays of this podcast, slipping up on 100,000 TTSL, which is total time spent listening. That's a good thing. I need to go through and delete a lot of the episodes that are on here, though, because they're getting too many of them. And yeah, so. But everything's fine here, and I'm getting ready to go and get that stupid freaking surgery done that I don't want to have done, but I'm going to have to do. It's just a day surgery. What the hell? Who cares? But I think I have the doctor picked out. So there you go. Yeah, I think I have the doctor all picked out and the hospital all picked out. So yeah. So I'm done with doing big goodbyes, all that kind of stuff. I'm really done with it. I just sort of sign off and get off the air. Let's check Twitter real quick. What am I going to do with you? You are so into Periscope. You are so into Periscope. You're a mess. You are so into Periscope. But anyway, yeah, a lot of stuff going on Twitter, and I will see you guys the next time I do this. And for those of you that are listening, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the podcast, and I thank you very much. I'm Debbie with you till the next time I do this. I will see you guys in the funny papers.